Shukla says India government must question Trump over Munir comments, but says cricket is a different matter. K.N. Rajanna alleges big conspiracy behind his ouster, says that he will reveal at the right time after meeting Rahul Gandhi and top Congress leaders. Animal lovers hold protests at India Gate in New Delhi against top court order on stray dog menace. After Supreme Court, Rajasthan High Court orders municipal bodies to undertake a special drive to remove stray dogs and other animals from city roads. Crackdown on terrorists continues. Hezbollah terrorists operating in Hamas fashion natural tunnels busted by security forces.
Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful cities anywhere in the world. And today we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency.
Donald Trump declares a crime emergency in U.S. Capitol, orders federal takeover of Washington, D.C. Live this morning, I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. Amid the much anticipated meet between the US President Trump and the Russian President Putin, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has warned US of Russian deception and has said that this war can only end with peace. Here's a full report, viewers. Take a look.
Over the past few days, Ukrainian President Zelenskyy has made tons of phone calls with world leaders. Zelenskyy even called PM Narendra Modi yesterday. Both leaders discussed in detail all important issues both of bilateral cooperation and the overall diplomatic situation. This diplomatic push comes on the back of his US counterpart Donald Trump confirmed his meeting with Vladimir Putin. Both leaders are expected to discuss a possible ceasefire in Ukraine. This will be the first meeting between the leaders of two countries since 2021. Some reports suggest that Trump is considering inviting Ukrainian president also to the summit. Zelenskyy, meanwhile, has expressed concerns about Russia's intentions.
Треба якнайшвидше завершити війну чесним миром. Чесний мир потрібен. Чітка підтримка того, що все, що стосується України, має вирішуватись за участі України.
Zelenskyy took a jibe at Putin and accused him of waging the war. Putin has maintained Moscow's uncompromising demands in the war, which is indicative of the fact that he could use the summit to coerce Kyiv into accepting an unfavorable deal. And on the back of this, Zelenskyy is announcing to the world that the war must be ended as soon as possible with just peace.
Ми розуміємо намір росіян спробувати обманути Америку. Ми не допустимо цього. Я дуже ціную ту рішучість, з якою президент Трамп налаштований зупинити смерті у війні. І щодня багато людей віддають свої життя. Але єдиною першопричиною цих вбивств є бажання Путіна воювати та маніпулювати усіма, з ким він контактує. Ми в Україні добре знаємо Росію. І саме тому в надзвичайно складних умовах українці витримали вже понад 3 роки повномасштабної війни. Ми обов'язково захистимо державу, захистимо свою незалежність.
Given the stakes, the question remains, can Zelenskyy convince Trump to not trust Putin? Or will he be included in the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska? The world will keep a close eye as these diplomatic efforts unfold hoping for a peaceful resolution to the Ukraine-Russia conflict.
Amid US rising tariff over India's Russian oil purchases, Prime Minister Modi held a telephonic conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and conveyed India's commitment for early and peaceful resolution of Russia-Ukraine war. Telephonic conversation between Zelenskyy comes within 72 hours that PM Modi spoke to Russian President, and both the leaders shared development regarding the ongoing war with Ukraine. Watch this report for more to understand what has happened.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and affirmed India's steadfast commitment for early and peaceful resolution of Russia's war. In a conversation with Zelenskyy, PM Modi conveyed, and I quote, "India remains committed to making every possible contribution to ensure peace." The conversation that took place amid US rising tariff over India's Russia oil purchases. Both the leaders reviewed progress in India-Ukraine bilateral partnership and discussed ways to further enhance cooperation in areas of mutual interest. Ukrainian president also posted detailed information about his conversation with Prime Minister Modi. Zelenskyy acknowledged India's role in peace talks with Russia and admitted that PM Modi has leverage with Russia.
A phone call has happened between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy of Ukraine. Zelenskyy called Prime Minister for that phone call. Now, let me just give the bare bones facts about what happened through the releases from both the sides. So, from Prime Minister's office in India, it says that Prime Minister Modi spoke to President Zelenskyy, in which Zelenskyy shared his views on recent developments related to Ukraine, and Prime Minister reaffirmed India's consistent position for peaceful settlement of the conflict and support for efforts aimed at earliest restoration of peace. Essentially a reiteration of what Prime Minister Modi has always maintained in terms of the Russia-Ukraine war, that cessation of hostilities should happen. This is not an era of war, and peace should prevail.
Ukrainian president also tried to put pressure on PM Modi to reduce import of Russian oil and reduce Russia's potential and ability to finance the continuation of this war. Additionally, both the leaders agreed to meet in September during the UN General Assembly and to work on exchange of visits. The telephonic conversation with Zelenskyy comes just 72 hours after Prime Minister Modi spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin and shared latest developments on Ukraine. The two leaders reaffirmed commitment to further deepen Indo-Russia's special and privileged strategic partnership. Additionally, PM Modi invited Putin to visit India later this year for the annual bilateral summit. PM Modi's conversation with both the leaders of war-torn countries shows India's clear commitment for peace and resolution of war with diplomatic means.
And viewers, let's go ahead to the other big story we're tracking. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte has now met her Indonesian counterpart, Prabowo Subianto. This visit aims at strengthening economic ties as the two countries are looking to expand into new markets now. Take a look at this report.
President Prabowo Subianto of Indonesia welcomed the President of the Republic of Peru, Dina Ercilia Boluarte Zegara, at the Presidential Palace in Jakarta. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte is on a two-day official visit to Indonesia to meet her Indonesian counterpart, Prabowo Subianto. The two-day visit is expected to deepen the bilateral ties after the two countries concluded negotiations that began in May on a comprehensive economic partnership agreement. The CEPA reflects the determination of both the governments to enhance their economic cooperation. One of its tangible outcomes will be greater market access for Peruvian products in Indonesia. The visit also aims at strengthening economic ties as the two countries go through a rough patch. The new markets amid geopolitical challenges and rising trade barriers require stronger partnership to balance out external threats. This meeting holds a milestone in the two nations' bilateral relationship as it marks a pathway forward towards a prosperous shared future. The presidents of Peru and Indonesia welcomed the signing of a new trade agreement in Jakarta on Monday.
Penandatanganan Perjanjian Kemitraan Ekonomi Komprehensif Indonesia-Peru CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Perjanjian ini akan memperluas akses pasar, serta meningkatkan aktivitas perdagangan kedua negara.
Peruvian president also expressed her appreciation for President Prabowo's state visit to Lima on November of 2024, calling it a pivotal moment in the bilateral ties. The signing came just 4 days after US President Donald Trump began imposing higher import taxes on dozens of countries, including a 19% tariff rate on Indonesia, Southeast Asia's largest economy. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte says that all the high-level delegations from each country should come together in this time of geopolitical crisis.
Compañía de nuestras delegaciones de alto nivel, sostuvimos una productiva reunión en la que hemos examinado los principales avances registrados en la agenda bilateral. Se han abordado temas de carácter político, diplomático, comercial y de inversiones, permitiéndonos explorar oportunidades de cooperación en diversas áreas.
Currently, Peru is paying 10% baseline tariff on exports to the United States, as set by Trump in the month of April.
Much coming up, viewers. K.N. Rajanna alleges a big conspiracy behind his ouster, says he will reveal at the right time after meeting Rahul Gandhi and top Congress leaders. After Supreme Court Rajasthan High Court orders municipal bodies to undertake a special drive to remove stray dogs and other animals from city roads. Stay tuned, viewers. We are live this morning.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना। MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
What makes you a legend? Maybe that you're followed by everyone. Maybe that you follow no one. Maybe both. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा, सबका राजा और मसाला।
India has successfully completed trials of its indigenously developed Zorawar light tank, a platform purpose-built for high-altitude warfare where traditional heavy armor struggles. Developed jointly by DRDO and Larsen & Toubro, the 25-ton tank is powered by a high-output Cummins diesel engine, delivering close to 40 horsepower per ton, critical for operating in oxygen-thin mountain air. Its primary armament is a 105mm Cockerel rifled gun integrated.
Welcome back, viewers. We're live this morning. Tensions escalated once again in the contested waters of the South China Sea, where a Chinese Coast Guard vessel chased and engaged in dangerous blocking maneuvers against a Filipino Coast Guard and fishing vessel. During the chaos, a Chinese cutter fired water cannon at the Philippine vessel and, in attempting to intercept it, collided with a Chinese Navy destroyer, causing severe damage to the Chinese ship. Here's the full story. Take a look.
Chinese Coast Guard ships reportedly chased and staged dangerous blocking maneuvers on Monday against the Philippine Coast Guard and fishing vessels in the Scarborough Shoal. The contested waters are a rich fishing atoll in the South China Sea of the northwestern Philippines. A Philippine official announced that a Philippine Coast Guard managed to avoid being hit by a Chinese Coast Guard water cannon during the melee.
While we were being chased by the Chinese Coast Guard 3104, ay nagkaroon ng insidente ang pagitan ng China Coast Guard at ng PLA Navy warship 164. Sila mismo ang nagbanggaan at dahil dito na damage yung unahang parte ng barko ng China Coast Guard. And on our part, we even extended our intention to support man overboard and even provide medical attention.
It's the latest flare-up of long-simmering territorial disputes in the busy waterway, a key global trade route where overlapping claims between China and the Philippines have escalated in recent years. Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei and Taiwan also lay claims to the parts of the contested waters. While chasing a Philippine Coast Guard vessel, a Chinese Coast Guard ship reportedly collided with a Chinese Navy ship. The Chinese Coast Guard ship is reported to have sustained substantial damage.
Itong incident na to, I hope it would already convince the Chinese government to adhere to the collision regulation. Ilang beses na nating sinasabi ito na if we're going to carry out dangerous maneuvers at sea, eventually it will lead to a maritime incident or sea mishap. And this is what happened here.
Philippine officials claim that Philippine Coast Guard offered to provide help, including medical assistance, to Chinese side.
This is Philippine Coast Guard vessel BRP Teresa Magbanwa, MRRV 9701. We have medical personnel on board. Should you need any assistance, we are willing to provide assistance. Over.
However, there was no immediate comment from Chinese officials on Philippines' statement.
And viewers, getting your pictures coming in. We're taking a short break right now, but the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign sees widespread participation across the country. Stay tuned, viewers. We are live this morning.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और मसाला।
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना। आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना।
और अगर हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, इकोनॉमी और ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ेगा, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमें किसी के पास जाना पड़ेगा। आज जो दादागिरी करते इसलिए कर रहे कि वो आर्थिक दृष्टि से संपन्न है। दादागिरी इसलिए करते हैं कि उनके पास टेक्नोलॉजी है। अगर उनसे अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी और रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास आएंगे तो हमें दादागिरी नहीं करनी है। हमारी संस्कृति तो ये कहती है कि विश्व का कल्याण हो।
कुछ लोग हैं जो भारत के का विकास जितनी तेजी के साथ हो रहा है उन्हें रास नहीं आ रहा है, उन्हें अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है। सबके बास तो हम हैं, भारत कैसे इतनी तेजी के साथ बढ़ रहा है। लेकिन बहनों भाइयों, भारत जितनी तेजी के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है, मैं पूरे विश्वास के साथ कहता हूं कि भारत को अब दुनिया की कोई ताकत विश्व की एक बड़ी शक्ति बनने से रोक नहीं सकती है।
राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि है और अभी तो देश में जिन जिन विषयों पर चर्चा हो रही उसका नाम न लेते हुए विश्व में हम अनेक प्रकार की समस्याओं का सामना भी कर रहे हैं और इन सब समस्या को
President Trump has declared a federal emergency in Washington, D.C. He is taking control of the city's police force and deploying National Guard troops in response to a spike in violent crime. He has appointed Pam Bondi and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to lead the federal response. Here's what he said.
Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful cities anywhere in the world.
This is a tragic emergency. President Trump said on Monday as he moved to expand federal authority in nation's capital, temporarily taking control of DC's police department and deploying 800 National Guard troops to respond to a spike in violent crimes. The move marks a notable shift in the federal role in local policing. We are here because of the woke, President Trump said, cocking a snook at the Democrats as he announced that the Washington, D.C. will no longer serve as a haven for illegal aliens.
Today, we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it, by the way. Because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We have the most beautiful, potentially, capital in the world. We always had. But people come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they come and then they get mugged. Not going to happen. Keep coming, because by the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly.
He didn't stop there, admitting he was embarrassed to be in Washington, D.C., lambasting the city's worsening condition. As President Trump extensively spoke about the dystopia brewing in D.C., he announced that the Metropolitan Police Department will be helmed by Attorney General Pam Bondi with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at her side during the federal takeover. President Trump also warned he won't hesitate to deploy the military to a city overrun by bloodthirsty criminals and roving mobs of wild youth, vowing to restore order no matter the cost.
And viewers, much for coming right up. K.N. Rajanna alleges a big conspiracy behind his ouster, says he will reveal at the right time after meeting Rahul Gandhi and top Congress leaders. After Supreme Court, Rajasthan High Court orders municipal bodies to undertake a special drive to remove stray dogs and other animals from city roads. Stay tuned, viewers.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना इंडिया सोना
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला स्टर करो पुदीना चटनी तैयार MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरी राजा
One of the only questions people asked us here in the media, and you would go outside of office, and when you meet people in public, at functions, at events, even at home sometimes, they would ask you that question, did we really lose jets? Who lost jets? How many jets did Pakistani Air Force lose? Now, there is a number to it, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, it's official, and you can't contest these numbers.
the Indian Air Force has gone on record saying 5 Pakistani fighter jets were shot down along with one plane which is meant for advanced warning and air surveillance. And AWACS system planes were shot down along with 5 jets. 5 jets were brought down by the S-400. That's a big statement. I have Major General Sudhakarji joining us on this edition of the podcast on republicworld.com. To put this in perspective,
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना। MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
India has successfully completed trials of its indigenously developed Zorawar light tank, a platform purpose-built for high-altitude warfare where traditional heavy armor struggles. Developed jointly by DRDO and Larsen & Toubro, the 25-ton tank is powered by a high-output Cummins diesel engine delivering close to 40 horsepower per ton, critical for operating in oxygen-thin mountain air. Its primary armament is a 105mm Cockerel rifled gun integrated into a modern turret, capable of firing both kinetic rounds and anti-tank guided missiles. Supporting this is a remote-controlled 7.62mm machine gun, twin 80GM launcher, advanced thermal sights, active protection systems, and modular composite armor. Amphibious capability and AI-driven situational awareness further enhance its versatility. The tank has already passed live fire and mobility trials in desert conditions, followed by high-altitude.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome viewers, you're watching Republic TV. I'm Riyanka Chaudhary. We will be tracking in all the developments starting from Pakistan's Bilawal Bhutto, who has in fact once again gone ahead and been in a condition of warmongering if India builds dam on Indus waters. Much more, but after the top headlines. After nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat case reopened, incriminating evidence of Pakistani terror unearthed.
So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment.
Trump issues a fresh statement, says tariffs serve US not only financially but also by giving great power over enemies. US declares Balochistan Liberation Army, Majid Brigade as terror groups. US and China extend tariff truce by another 90 days amid the tensions.
हमने अमन की बात की
भारत ने जंग की बात की, लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते।
Bilawal Bhutto reiterates empty war rhetoric, says if India builds dams, there will be war.
सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को खत्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहे हैं।
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा।
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है।
Congress MP and BCCI Vice President Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comments, but says cricket is a different matter. Karnataka minister ousted after voter list remarks upset party, now says it is a conspiracy against him. Viewers, breaking news coming in on top of this hour. A major push for justice after 35 years. The state investigation agency has carried out raids at 8 locations across Srinagar in connection with the 1990 killing of Kashmiri Pandit nurse Sarla Bhat. Sarla, who defied terrorist diktats to quit her job and leave the valley, was abducted and shot dead by JKLF terrorists. Fresh evidence is now being recovered, bringing investigators closer to identifying and prosecuting her killers. Yasin Malik's house searched by the SIA in connection with the brutal 1990 Sarla Bhat murder. Latest breaking news coming in at this point in time. We will be getting in my colleague shortly to give us more updates on these fresh raids being carried out at 8 locations in Srinagar in connection with the Kashmiri Pandit nurse Sarla Bhat, who defied terrorist diktats to quit her job and leave the valley. She was then abducted and shot dead by the JKLF terrorists. Now, fresh evidences have emerged, bringing investigators closer to identifying and prosecuting her killers. On the other hand, related to the same case, Yasin Malik's house has been searched by the SIA in connection to the brutal murder of Sarla Bhat in 1990. So that is the news coming in, and breaking updates continues to bring in at this point in time. After 35 years, it's a push for justice, although there is anger amongst the Kashmiri Pandits regarding the passage of 3 decades for the investigation. But there's a breakthrough. There are fresh evidences that have come to light, which is why the SIA is conducting raids at 8 locations in Srinagar, including locations of Yasin Malik as well. Now, this is a fresh evidence that has been recovered. Investigators are now closer to identifying and prosecuting the killers of Sarla Bhat, including Yasin Malik's house, one of the key locations which are now being searched by the SIA in connection to the brutal 1990 murder of the nurse Sarla Bhat. My colleague Zeenat is joining us live on the broadcast to help us with more updates. Zeenat, it has been 35 years and it's a major push for justice with the state investigating agencies now carrying out raids at 8 locations across Srinagar. Help us understand what are these key locations, because as per the reports, Yasin Malik's house has also been raided at this point.
See, this is an important development in the case of the Sarla Bhat. She was a nurse working at the Sher-e-Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences, and though she hailed from the Anantnag, South Kashmir, and she was abducted by the JKLF group from the Haba Khatun hostel then in 1990, and for keeping her she was held captive for around 4 to 5 days, and then her mutilated body was recovered from the Karanagar in Srinagar, and there was a note that was also recovered from her dead body, which was as she was labeled as a police informant. As per the JKLF sources, she was giving an info and the tip about the militants or the terrorists being treated at the tertiary care hospital, and the JKLF has been involved in it. In fact, at the time of her burial, the decent burial could not be given to her because her father Shambhunath then was threatened by these terror groups at the time of the insurgency. agency. Now we are seeing that the SIA has reopened the case and the investigation have begun. Today the raid were carried at the multiple locations in central Kashmir. Most of the raids focused at JKLF chief, who's a band outfit now, and he's a jailed leader at present. His house at Mysuma was raided, and the locations of his relatives of Yasin Malik too were raided by the SIA. This tells you that the police as well as the investigating agencies are trying to push to reopen the case, to get the case. That time the justice was denied, and in fact the local government then had to face lot of criticism for not providing or giving justice to the victims or the family of Sarla Bhat. Now we see that the one other push is coming up as far as the Sarla Bhat case of 1990 is concerned. The entire tragedy unfolded in the month of April 99, and since then it's almost been 35 long years when we are seeing the raids being conducted now by the SIA, and it was assisted by the J&K police here in Srinagar to get more evidences. Now in fact many people were questioned, and many evidences are being collected to see what more can be unfolded as far as Sarla Bhatt's case of 1990 is concerned.
Absolutely, Zeenat, at this point in time, what we understand that it's indeed a major push in reopening the case, as you rightly mentioned. But what does this mean for all the Kashmiri Pandits who have faced the atrocities and who are, of course, looking for justice? But few of them are, of course, angry because it has taken more than 35 years for this breakthrough.
See, as we say, justice delayed is justice denied. It's been 35 long years, and now the case has been reopened. It's seen as a ray of hope for the people who too have been the victim of violence in Jammu and Kashmir, that the police has finally pulled up the socks, the investigating agencies have pulled up the socks and helped these victims to provide them some kind of relief or justice to the families. The way we see that the Sarla Bhatt's case has been reopened by the state investigating agency, the case of 1990, which had captured the headlines then, but because of the threats by the terror outgroups, many remained silent or mum as far as the details of the case are concerned. We are seeing that the JKLF chief, the band outfit by the MHA, is already facing multiple charges and he is lodged at the Tihar jail. Is it a step towards execution of Yasin Malik, that the police has built up more cases, more investigations? That only the time will tell. But yes, it has pinned hopes it is giving an edge to the victims who have faced the violence in the Kashmir Valley. When we see the cases like Sarla Bhat, she was then a 27-year-old nurse who was picked up by the goons of JKLF from the hostel of Sher-e-Kashmir Institute of Medical Science, where she was working, and she was labelled as an informant.
Right. Zeenat, also help us understand now at this point how it is very important for the investigating agencies, because they have received fresh evidence, which is why, these raids are carrying forward. The question continues to remain, how long to justice? Because on the other hand, Yasin Malik there already serving, and probably he has time to respond to his petitions regarding the death penalty in the NIA case. That case is also happening side by side. But it's an entire scenario of chaos, given one hand Kashmiri Pandits are in distress, and on the other hand terrorists like Yasin Malik, their houses being searched, and also crucial crackdown on them.
See, if you turn the pages of the history and see the Kashmiri Pandits, what all they faced and under what circumstances they had to live, because every time they would face death warrants and lot of push that they should leave the valley. There would be hue and cry in the mosque asking the Kashmiri Pandits to leave the valley because it doesn't belong to them. So many Kashmiri Pandits, rather it was the 95% of the Kashmiri Pandits who left the valley at the time of insurgency. And when the cases like these happened, like Sarla Bhat and others, most of them left the place then. But then you see the kind of a trend that when the Kashmiri Pandits were killed by the JKLF, the Hizbul Mujahideen and other terror outfits, so that definitely created more fear for them then, and they left the valley and they started residing in Jagti camps like Jammu and many of them to other places of the country. They have been for the justice, fighting for the justice, for the survival and for their identity for the last 35 years. Now it seems a step towards providing a relief to the families like this whose cases were never reopened. You see the step coming in even from the Jammu and Kashmir LG Manoj Sinha when he has identified the victims, the next of kin of victims of the terrorism, and he and his government started providing the jobs, and the appointment letters were given within a very little span of time, and many of them narrated their ordeal, that how the things unfolded when they were tagged as the terror, when they were tagged as the informers, they were tagged as anti-national. So it seems like the government of India has definitely pulled is pulling more information on the ground when it seems they are trying to scuttle the roots of the separatists, the terrorist movement, and also taking in oxygen from the support that was provided to these terror organizations by carrying the Red Sea. JKLF chief Yasin Malik, the banned terror organization under MHA, has always grabbed the headlines for their terror-related incidents. If you see Yasin Malik history, who has been involved in the Air Force officers case, be it the kidnapping of Rubia Saeed, the daughter of the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mufti Mohammed Saeed, and these are some of the important cases for which the Yasin Malik is facing the trial. Even the money laundering cases, the NIA raided Yasin in 2017, and since then he has been lodged at the Tihar jail and he is facing the trial. But there had been a demand that the death penalty and he should be executed at the earliest. Now we see the another action when you see the Sarla Bhat case being reopened, being opened by the SIA. This is a hope to the family and to all those who have suffered through the hands of the terror organization, that what more evidences, what more details will be in the hands of the NIA to make this case more stronger and to provide justice to the families of this victim whose body was mutilated. She was gang raped for 4 to 5 days, and that is what the doctors at the time confirmed after her body went for post-mortem. So that was one of the gruesome murder that was carried by the JKLF then. So another big hope for the Kashmiri Pandits who have left the valley or who are still have returned to the Kashmir Valley, that yes, the justice will be delivered. It may have delayed for a long time, but it will be delivered. And this is again seen as another nail in the coffins when people or the agencies or the forces are investigating the cases of Yasin Malik.
Right, Zeenat, one more last question before I let you go. We know it is the Sarla Bhat case at this point in time which is being reopened, but there are many such cases, including the case of Neelkant Ganju as well, who are waiting for justice at this point in time. What are the Kashmiri Pandits in the valley saying now?
See, this will definitely a welcome step coming in the way the case is being investigated. There are multiple such stories, multiple such cases where people still are waiting for the justice, be it the Neelkant Ganju case, or we have seen the cases in the recent past when the Kashmiri Pandits were targeted, when this target killings started in the Kashmir Valley, and many of the terrorists were neutralized by the J&K police in anti-terror operations. Now the case, which is of almost 35 years old, what are the investigation? How many people the agency will be able to question? Because 35 years is a very long time, and how many of them are still alive and what all evidences are there, how the police SIA and the other agencies will be picking up and connecting the dots when it comes to the case of the Sarla Bhat. So we need to see, because this is the first time when this kind of case is being opened by the SIA and the investigation has begun, the questioning has begun, the evidences are being collected. So the first target, the case in this case is JKLF. So the leader, the JKLF, the chief Yasin is behind the bars. But how many people were there who were part of this gang rape, the crime, the gruesome one that only the investigating agencies will tell? But yes, it is a welcome step when we see that such cases are also getting and are being picked up. They have caught the attention of the investigating agencies to see that the justice is delivered.
Zeenat, appreciate you for joining us and giving us an entire details on the case as well as what had happened as we turn back the history pages. But I've been told Mr. Amit Raina, Kashmiri activist, is joining us on the phone line. Thank you for taking out your time, Mr. Raina. And I would hear it from you. How do you see the push for justice coming in after 35 years in the Sarla Bhat case?
Good morning. It is honestly very sad that a girl who was raped and murdered, her family is awaiting justice for the last 35 years. She was brutally killed, raped, kidnapped from her hostel in the Kashmiri Institute of Medical Sciences. Her crime was that she treated a terrorist and she was a Kashmiri Pandit. Unfortunately, most of the people who were involved in the crime are dead, but 3 people who were the key responsible people for running that organization and actively involved in this heinous crime, Yasin Malik, Javed Dar and Beta Karate, all of them are alive. And they are in gallows, but not for the crimes they have committed. They have been charged with crimes like terror financing, Hawala financing, supporting terror activities, but people like Sarla Bhat, the Air Force officers await justice for 35 years, and we would like to see that they get punished for the crimes that they have done, which is sad that even after 36 years, Jammu and Kashmir police has not been able to close this case and deliver justice to the family of Sarla Bhat and to the hundreds and thousands of Kashmiri Pandits who have been killed. We are sitting at a 0 conviction rate on the killings of Kashmiri Pandits.
Right. Mr. Raina, also, as I understand that there is anger that is mounting in the minds of the Kashmiri Pandits because it has taken a long time. But do you think that, there is still hope, or should we consider that, these forgotten cases, including one of the Neelkant Ganju case as well, do we keep hopes regarding, these fresh recoveries and the fresh breakthroughs that are coming into light?
No, definitely there is hope, and the hope was rekindled last year. And last year, when the LG administration ordered transferring of certain cases to the special investigation team, and the way the cases have moved forward, especially like the raids that have happened in the Sarla Bhat case, and many incriminating evidences have been found, it definitely brings back the hope of justice being delivered, and better late than never. But we hope that it happens during the lifetime of the people who were affected by the crimes, especially the families of Sarla Bhat, her brother, her parents, so that they see the justice being delivered in front of their eyes.
Right, Mr. Raina, appreciate you joining us and giving your views on this particular story. Let me also go across to Aarti Tikku, who's joining us. She's also one of the Kashmiri activists. Ms. Aarti, how do you also view these fresh developments in terms of the breakthrough that the SIA has received, and they are conducting raids across 8 locations in Srinagar, and including those locations is Yasin Malik's house as well?
Well, I certainly welcome this move as a Kashmiri Pandit as well as a journalist who's worked on Kashmir for more than 25 years. But I have also been disillusioned by the successive governments in Jammu and Kashmir for the lack of any convictions with respect to the ethnic cleansing of Kashmiri Pandits, and also for the lack of any resolution, any solutions offered by any government for the return and rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits. But this move, if it's actually going to reach to its logical conclusion, will be much appreciated. It will close, in fact, it will be a closure for the family of Sarla Ji, and it will be a closure for many Kashmiri Pandits who were targeted in 89, 90, and also much later during several massacres, and as recently as a few years ago when there were targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits in Kashmir. But the fact that, we haven't seen any convictions in the last 35 years, we haven't seen any case reaching to its logical termination, that makes me cautiously optimistic today because of the initiative that has been taken. If it does really mean a serious prosecution and conviction of the perpetrators of Kashmiri Pandit ethnic cleansing.
There have been several targeted killings even till date in the valley, and not just Kashmiri Pandits but also others who have been prey of this entire situation. What would be your demand from the government at this point?
Well, as I have repeatedly said, Jammu and Kashmir needs a Truth and Reconciliation Commission or a Truth and Reconciliation process in which all the assassinations, murders, massacres are accounted for, and people are told the truth. And the truth is that apart from Pakistan-sponsored cross-border terrorism, apart from the fact that jihadi terror became the fulcrum or the instrument for the genocide or ethnic cleansing of Kashmiri Pandits in Kashmir, but at the same time, there were many elements within the system, within the Indian system, who were complicit, who were also complicit in many cases in the ethnic cleansing and terrorism in Kashmir. So I think my demand really is truth and reconciliation so that people get to know the real faces of the real perpetrators of ethnic cleansing and genocide of Kashmiri Pandits.
Right. Mrs. Aarti Tikku, appreciate you joining us and giving your views and opinions on this very important issue of the case reopening in terms of the Sarla Bhat killing in the valley. Viewers, it's time to shift our focus and bring you some breaking news coming in at this point ahead of his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Next week in Alaska, US President Donald Trump claimed that US tariffs on India for buying Russian oil have delivered a big blow to Moscow's economy, calling New Delhi one of Russia's largest or second largest oil buyers. So once again, Donald Trump has issued a fresh statement on the tariff hike. He has imposed, remember viewers, 50% tariff on Indian goods only for the fact that India has been doing trade with Russia, and he has gone ahead and said that he has imposed these tariffs on India for India being involved in trade with Russia, especially the Russian oil. And he said that this particular issue has delivered a big blow to Moscow's economy as well. And he has called New Delhi one of Russia's largest or second largest oil buyers.
I'm going to meet with him. We're going to see what the parameters are. I'm then going to call up President Zelenskyy and the European leaders right after the meeting, yeah. And I'm going to tell them what kind of a deal. I'm not going to make a deal. It's not up to me to make a deal. I think a deal should be made for both. I think Russia has to get back into building their country. It's a massive country. I think they have 11 time zones, if you can believe it. It's a massive, it's by far, from the standpoint of land, it's by far the largest. They have tremendous potential in Russia to do well. They're not doing well. Their economy is not doing well right now because it's been very well disturbed by this. It doesn't help when the President of the United States tells their largest or second largest oil buyer that we're putting a 50% tariff on you if you buy oil from Russia. That was a big blow. And then they say, gee, he wasn't so tough. Nobody else would have done that. And I haven't stopped there. I mean, look, I was all set to do things far bigger than that, but I got a call that they'd like to meet, and I'm going to see what they want to meet about. I'd like to see a ceasefire. I'd like to see the best deal that could be made for both parties.
All right, to discuss more on this issue, I've been joined by Mr. Eric Lemkul. He's a senior journalist joining us from Georgia in the United States. Thank you for speaking with us on Republic. How do you see now these fresh statements? We have already spoken about Donald Trump imposing 50% tariff on India, but he has now come up with the new statement, and he has gone ahead and said that, the economy of Russia has been hit. It's a big blow to Russia, and he's called India one of the largest, traders in terms of buying Russian oil.
So obviously we don't want to see these the tariffs between the United States and India last very long. It does hurt our economy here, as India is a huge trade partner with the United States, especially with oil-based products. India has done a very good job of jump-starting their economy and providing goods that we can buy off of them as opposed to buying from China. So that's an important sector that we would like to improve that over time. However, President Trump has made it very clear that dealing with Russia is not going to be a good idea. Crippling the economy crippling the Russian economy is going to be essential to helping end the Russia-Ukraine war. President Trump has proved that method will work. In his first term, he did the same thing against Russia, and Russia's economy was very weak. The ruble was at a low. Unfortunately, when the Biden administration came back in, the ruble jumped up and had record highs. So crippling the Russian economy is gonna prevent them from continuing on with this war with Ukraine. I think President Putin is not going to stop the war without being able to have a piece of the eastern part of the Ukraine. That's what the big argument is going to be about. I think President Putin's going to try to get President Trump to negotiate the eastern part of the Ukraine as part of Russia.
Right. Mr. Eric, appreciate you joining us and giving your views as we have a paucity of time. We will have to let you go, but we will continue to bring in more developments on that story, viewers. Let's now shift into a short break. We will come right back. Stay tuned. Bilawal Bhutto reiterates empty war rhetoric, says if India builds dams, there will be war. Congress MP and BCCI Vice President Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comments, but says cricket is a different matter. Much more news coming up on the other side.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
Our Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
और अगर हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, इकोनॉमी और ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ेगा, तो मुझे
And here are the top headlines at 9:30 a.m. After nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat case reopened, incriminating evidence of Pak terror unearthed.
So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment.
Donald Trump issues a fresh statement, says tariffs have United States not only financially but have also given a great power over enemies. United States declares Balochistan Liberation Army Majid Brigade as terror groups. United States and China extend tariff truce by another 90 days amid tariff tensions.
हमने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की, लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते।
Bilawal Bhutto reiterates empty war rhetoric, says if India builds dam, there will be a war.
भारत सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को खत्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहे हैं।
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा।
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है।
And that is Congress Member of Parliament and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla, who says Indian government must question Trump over Munir's comment, but says cricket is a completely different matter and that India should play Pakistan. Karnataka minister ousted over voter list remarks upset party, now says it is a conspiracy against him and that he will be meeting Rahul Gandhi. Thank you for staying with Republic. I am Tanisha Avasthi and you're watching Live and Breaking at 9:30 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we start this edition with the big statement that's coming in from the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, who said that minority Sanatan Dharma communities living in heavily minority-dominated areas can obtain arms license for protection, referring to places like South Salmara, Mankachar and Bagbar. Himanta Biswa Sarma also pointed out that villages where barely 100 indigenous Hindus live amid population of over 20,000, he said protecting Sanatan Dharma is the government's duty and that licenses will be issued only after proper legal process. Himanta Biswa Sarma there batting for the safety of Hindus of the Sanatan Dharma. We have his reaction as well. Let's listen in to that statement that has been given by the Assam Chief Minister.
লাগে বন্দুক নহলে আপুনি সাউথ সালমাৰা মানকাছৰত কেনেকে থাকিব, বাগবৰত কেনেকে থাকিব? আপোনালোকে তাতে গলে গম পাব 20-25 হাজাৰ মানুহ ঘেৰি আছে, মাজত 100 জন মানুহে এখন সত্ৰ লৈ পেলাই বহি আছে। তো তেওঁকতো কিবা এটাতো লাগিব না, আৰু আমিতো এনেই নিদিওঁ, বিচাৰ বিবেচনা কৰিহে দিম। গতিকে বন্দুকো লাগিব, মাটিও লাগিব, অধিকাৰো লাগিব, খালি আইনৰ মাজত লাগিব। আইনৰ গণ্ডি পাৰ হৈ আমাক একো নালাগে। বন্দুকটো লাগে, বন্দুক নহলে আপুনি সাউথ সালমাৰা মানকাছৰত কেনেকে থাকিব, বাগবৰত কেনেকে থাকিব? আপোনালোকে তাতে গলে গম পাব 20-25 হাজাৰ মানুহ ঘেৰি আছে, মাজত 100 জন মানুহে এখন সত্ৰ লৈ পেলাই বহি আছে। তো তেওঁকতো কিবা এটাতো লাগিব না, আৰু আমিতো এনেই নিদিওঁ, বিচাৰ বিবেচনা কৰিহে দিম। গতিকে বন্দুকো লাগিব, মাটিও লাগিব, অধিকাৰো লাগিব, খালি আইনৰ মাজত লাগিব। আইনৰ গণ্ডি পাৰ হৈ আমাক একো নালাগে।
Shifting our focus to some more breaking news that's coming in, this one from the state of Karnataka, where the fallout from K.N. Rajanna's removal as a minister continues in Madhugiri. Congress councillor Girija Manjunath has now resigned from the municipality. In her letter to the sub-divisional officer, she said that the decision was of her own will. Girija is known to be a close supporter of Rajanna, and her resignation adds to the political aftershocks following his ouster. Meanwhile, it is the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, D.K. Shivakumar, who has said that sacking Rajanna was the party's decision. Listen into that statement.
My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command.
And that was D.K. Shivakumar, the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister, saying that the decision was between the party high command, that the party high command had to take, and that there was nothing on himself or Siddaramaiah. Remember, K.N. Rajanna, we are talking about here, the Karnataka minister who resigned amid the fallout of the vote theft allegations, is a very, very close aide of the Karnataka Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah. And there are inside details from the ouster of the Karnataka minister that points towards the fact that there was a conspiracy, that the High Command had decided to sack him. I'm also being joined by Abhishek, my colleague from Bengaluru, on that. Abhishek, there are inside details which points towards how the Congress sources have revealed full inside details of the story of minister's sacking. We learned that via sources, it was Venugopal who dialed Siddaramaiah, asked him to drop Rajanna, and that Rahul had actually asked for Rajanna to be sacked. And this is an example of how there is complete dissent within the party. There's no democracy within the party. So if one minister goes out to speak against his own leader, in this case, K.N. Rajanna, speaking against Rahul Gandhi, he's sacked from the party.
Well, with respect to the decision taken by the AICC High Command on K.N. Rajanna's being removed from the cabinet as of the direction from the High Command, it is very clear that Rajanna, while addressing the media on August 8th, when Rahul Gandhi was present in Bengaluru's Freedom Park to allegate against the Election Commission, and it's with respect to the Madhepura voters ID list, which he claimed that various other illegal additions and deletions had been made. On the other hand, Rajanna, who was talking to the media, had informed that as the government, Congress was in power then, and it was their responsibility to make sure that these additions and deletions wouldn't happen without the vicinity of the politicians and the officials, which was contradiction to Rahul Gandhi's allegations. On this point of time, Rahul Gandhi, who took this note very seriously, made sure that he informed Venugopal, who directed Venugopal to direct CM Siddaramaiah to dispose of Rajanna from the Karnataka State Cabinet. On the other hand, when K.N. Rajanna was talking to the media after he was removed from the cabinet, he has mentioned that he very clearly knew the people who are involved in the removal of him from the cabinet at this point of time. And also, he says that various other meetings were held to make sure that Rajanna was removed from the cabinet. We shouldn't also forget that BJP is allegating against Congress, stating that any person within the Congress party who speaks the truth, who is going against the government, who speaks against the thoughts of the Congress, will be removed at this point of time. So this the Congress will have to see how they will take it forward. BJP and JDS collectively have informed the speaker that they will have to get the answer from CM Siddaramaiah with respect to the removal of K. N. Rajanna from the cabinet, even without any information. And also they are demanding a valid reason as to why K. N. Rajanna was removed, despite he being a very a powerful minister and a person who always spoke the facts.
Right.
Back to you.
Abhishek, one last question before I let you go. Yesterday, K. N. Rajanna had issued a fresh statement where he said that there is a larger conspiracy behind sacking him, behind his ouster, and that he would reveal it soon. What is it? And since you're in Bengaluru, well, all the action is happening, what is the kind of conspiracy that he's pointing towards to? Who is he actually pinning the blame onto?
K. N. Rajanna, even without taking the name, might be aiming at DCM DK Shivkumar, because DCM DK Shivkumar obviously wanted to become the Chief Minister of Karnataka in the next couple of months. And Rajanna had spoken in the assembly and to the media that there will be an outburst in the Karnataka state politics with respect to the government in the month of October, and there might be a revolutionary movement in October. On the other hand, it is DCM DK Shivkumar, as per K. N. Rajanna, who wanted K. N. Rajanna out of the cabinet because he was one of the closest aide of CM Siddaramaiah. He also mentioned that the chair of CM is being weakened by removing the closest aides of CM Siddaramaiah, so that the way to the chair of CM for DCM DK Shivkumar will be easier if the closest aides of Siddaramaiah is no more around him. And this is one of such actions is what K. N. Rajanna, even without using the name of DCM DK Shivkumar, claimed. And also, on the other hand, when the previous assembly was happening in Vidhan Sabha, K. N. Rajanna indirectly mentioned that one of the ministers from his own cabinet was trying to honey trap K. N. Rajanna and various other ministers from his own government, indirectly pointing his fingers at DCM DK Shivkumar. Even BJP and JDS have jointly mentioned that it is the move of DCM DK Shivkumar towards K. N. Rajanna that made him get thrown from the cabinet as of now.
Right. Thank you very much, Abhishek, for getting us those details. This remains to be our top story, our top focus story throughout the day. Abhishek, we will come back to you as and when there are more details. But for now, it's time for us to slip into a short break. And after the break, we'll get to the details of how, after Asim Munir, it is Bilawal Bhutto that has come out with empty and hollow threats against India. Also, after the break, getting into the details of how the BCCI is backing cricket above the nation. All those details coming up after a very quick commercial break.
Our Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सबको मजेदार बने। One of the only questions people asked us here in the media, and you would go outside of office, and when you meet people in public, at functions, at events, even at home sometimes, they would ask you that question, did we really lose jets? Who lost jets? How many jets did Pakistani Air Force lose? Now, there is a number to it, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, it's official, and you can't contest these numbers. The Indian Air Force has gone on record saying 5 Pakistani fighter jets were shot down, along with one plane which is meant for advanced warning and air surveillance. And AWACS system planes were shot down along with 5 jets. 5 jets were brought down by the S-400. That's a big statement. I have Major General Sudhakarji joining us on this edition of the podcast on republicworld.com. To put this in perspective, General Sudhakarji, thank you for joining us, sir. This is a big statement. It just settles the debate once and for all.
Niranjan, firstly, thank you so much for having invited me for this podcast. And a little while back, we are on the channel, we are talking about it. There are many issues which actually misses the eye. we get, and in fact, the audience doesn't have so much time to glean into the details and go into the finer aspects. It is definitely a big statement. And I'm convinced, as an ex-general of Indian Army or retired as a veteran, there is much more news yet to come. It is only 5. As per my understanding, I was not present here during Operation Sindoor. I was traveling abroad, and the research I have gone into, I'm convinced that people do not know much about Operation Sindoor. Maybe people don't know that there was an infighting between the Pakistan air chief and the army chief. Maybe people don't know that the air defense resources, whenever they are deployed by any country, unlike what happened in India, it is the most classic example of modern 21st century military warfare, where all the air defense resources were integrated under one command and control agency of Indian Air Force.
Yeah.
Pakistan, it did not happen. The resources which were there with the army, Pakistan army, they did not part with the resources to the Pakistan Air Force, 1. Number 2, because they did not part with the resources, it actually failed to meet the integration goals. Since the integration goals were actually not met, number 3, there is a lower altitude gap. That gap was identified by the People's Liberation Army from 100 to 1,000 meters in the sky. This gap, the loitering ammunition drones they make use of, they come inside and they engage the targets, precision targets. This gap was left open by Pakistan. None of the terrorist camps or the logistics bases had any kind of air defense cover, although Bahawalpur, it was very close to the airport, 5 kilometers from the airport, 135 kilometers from the IV. Despite having had SQ-9 and other air defense resources, still they could not, because it was a matter of lack of integration. Yeah. Last but not the least, I would say, kudos to our armed forces. They have done a commendable job. I am telling you, in days ahead, such disclosures by very apex leaders will be coming forth. As per my calculation, it is almost about close to 20 aircrafts which have been damaged or destroyed because of very accurate and precision engagement by the Indian Armed Forces, both, all the 3 services, Army, Navy and the Air Force together, all of them, including some of the elements which are indicative of our standoff kinetic means, indication of strategic forces also having applied the rocket elements.
Thank you for staying with Republic. In a fresh diplomatic push, Pakistan on Monday urged India to immediately restore the Indus Water Treaty, the IWT, which New Delhi has kept in abeyance since May. The appeal follows a landmark ruling by the Court of Arbitration on August 8, interpreting key provisions of the 1960 agreement in Islamabad's favor. The treaty, brokered by the World Bank, governs the distribution of waters from the Indus River system between the 2 nations. India suspended its participation in the pact's mechanisms after the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack, which it blamed on Pakistan-based elements as a part of serious punitive measures. Pakistan has come after a begging bowl back to India yet again, asking us to restore the Indus Water Treaty, begging for water. Now they are begging us to undo the diplomatic push that we have done. And a confused Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, after begging India to restore the Indus Water Treaty. It is the former Foreign Minister, Balakot, who is now demand to threaten India, who has now gone ahead to threaten India and has restored to war-mongering tactics over the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty. Balakot says Pakistan is ready to fight with India. Empty war rhetoric by Balakot. Yesterday it was Asim Munir from the United States soil threatening India, again a hollow claim. And now it is Balakot giving out a very illogical claim, an illogical threat to India. Listen in to that statement.
हमने सब एक होके मोदी की बर्बारियत पे, मोदी के इस हमले के बारे में, मोदी के इस इरादे के बारे में आवाज़ उठाना है और जिद्दोजहद करना है ताकि इस जुल्म को भी हम रोक सकें। मैं जानता हूं कि आप में इतना ताकत है इस मुल्क के अवाम में इतना ताकत है कि जंग की सूरत हो तो जंग में भी हम इनका मुकाबला कर सकते हैं और जो आपके 6 के 6 दरिया है वो वापस हासिल भी कर सकते हैं। और अगर ये हमें मजबूर करते हैं, पाकिस्तान ने ये जंग नहीं छेड़ा था। हम हमेशा अमन के बारे में बात करते हैं। जहां दुनिया भर में पाकिस्तान के सफ़ीर पहुंचे, नुमाइंदे पहुंचे, हमने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की। लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ़ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते, हम झुकते ही नहीं हैं। तो अगर आप सिंधु की तरफ इस किस्म की हमला के बारे में सोचेंगे तो फिर पाकिस्तान के हर सूबे के अवाम आपका मुकाबला करने के लिए तैयार है और ये ऐसे जंग है जो आप ज़रूर हारेंगे।
All right, I'm being joined by Major General Rajan Kochhar, a defense expert. Rajan Kochhar, Major General, thank you very much for speaking to Republic. A very good morning to you. If you see the body language of Bilawal Bhutto, what he is lacking, Major General, is he is lacking conviction. And number one, he is lacking facts. There are no facts in what he is saying. There's no logic in what he is saying. And all of these are just hollow threats that he's giving to India just because they are rattled by Operation Sindoor. Major General Rajan Kochhar, your views on that?
Good morning. I definitely agree. See, this Pakistan establishment is badly rattled. We saw yesterday General Modi speaking from the United States trying to do the nuclear saber rattling, and now we see Bilawal Bhutto also resorting in this kind of a rhetoric, because basically he's trying to tell his own people, his own electorate, that we have not lost this war with India. We have won the war and we are ready to fight a war with India. But he doesn't realize the extent of damage we have inflicted on Pakistan in Operation Sindoor. And I think so within the Pakistani establishment, they are well aware of the strengths of the Indian armed forces, and we are just trying to sort of a bravado in front of their own population. And in case he's talking of a war with India, it is not India which is going to initiate the war. It is Pakistan. If any kind of a terrorist action from Pakistan emanates into India, be rest assured that there will be a very, very strong response this time from India, even at a higher scale than Operation Sindoor. He understands that. You see, the problem with the Pakistan political establishment is that it has been totally overshadowed by the Pakistani military establishment. So the moment a military leader says something, the political establishment also wants to add on to what is being said by their military leader. And therefore, this war rhetoric from Pakistan, we are seeing that quite often these days. We are nonetheless, prepared. As you would be aware, recently the Raksha Mantri has cleared 67,000 crores worth of defense equipment to be purchased in terms of air defense and other things. So we are not letting our guard as far as Pakistan is concerned, and we should be worried what their leaders are speaking, because they are trying to address their own audience about their own inabilities to win this war against India.
I completely agree with you, sir. Pakistan is doing nothing but just making a fool out of themselves on the global stage. Thank you very much, Major General Rajan Kochhar, for speaking to us this morning. Meanwhile, it's time for us to slip into a very quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. But after the break, we'll get into the details of how, after nearly 3 decades, there is a ray of hope as Sarla Bhat case, the Kashmiri Pandit case, has been reopened. There have been incriminating evidence that has been received of Pakistan terror. Also, after the break, Trump is making international headlines yet again, where he's now said that tariff has given them an edge over the enemy. Who is he really pointing towards? Getting you the details after the break.
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
इंडिया
इंडिया जोना।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया जोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया जोना, इंडिया जोना।
इंडिया जोना।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
India has successfully completed trials of its indigenously developed Zorawar light tank, a platform purpose-built for high-altitude warfare where traditional heavy armor
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
Being a legend means reaching a point where no one else has. To give others a dream worth chasing. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा। मसाला
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया जोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया जोना, इंडिया जोना।
इंडिया जोना।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
और अगर हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, इकोनॉमी और ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ेगा, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमें किसी के पास जाना पड़ेगा। आज जो दादागिरी करते इसलिए कर रहे कि वो आर्थिक दृष्टि से संपन्न है। दादागिरी इसलिए करते हैं कि उनके पास टेक्नोलॉजी है। अगर उनसे अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी और रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास आएंगे।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
After nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat case reopened, incriminating evidence of Pakistan terror unearthed.
So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment.
Trump issues a fresh statement and says tariffs have U.S. not only financially but also by giving great power over enemies. U.S. declares Balochistan Liberation Army Majid Brigade as a terror group. U.S. and China extend tariff truce by another 90 days amid tensions.
हमने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की, लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते।
Bilawal Bhutto reiterates empty war rhetoric and says if India builds dams, there will be war.
को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को खत्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहे हैं।
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा।
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है।
Congress MP and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comment but says cricket is a different matter altogether. Karnataka minister ousted off a voter list. Remarks upset party now says it is a conspiracy against him. Viewers, we are live and breaking up Shivangi Shukla. It's a major push for justice after 35 years. A state investigation agency has carried out raids at 8 locations across Srinagar in connection with the 1990 killing of Kashmiri Pandit nurse Sarla Bhat, who defied terrorist diktats to quit her job and leave the valley, was abducted and shot dead by JKLF terrorists. Fresh evidence has now been recovered, bringing investigators closer to identifying and prosecuting her killers. Yasin Malik's house searched by SIA in connection with a brutal 1990 Sarla Bhat murder case. The state investigation agency is carrying out raids at many places in central Kashmir as part of its investigation into the murder of a Kashmiri Pandit woman 35 years ago, viewers. All right, being joined right now by Ashok Pandit, who's joining us here. Thank you for joining us here, Mr. Ashok Pandit. As we see that the SI is conducting raids, the bigger question that I want to ask you is that, do you think that the Sarla Bhat case being reopened is giving hope that the 1990 era crimes which took place against Kashmiri Pandits will also get attention, will also see justice?
Which is done against the terrorists is a welcome sign for Kashmiri Pandits. And we all know what role Yasin Malik has played along with his accomplices, as far as the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Kashmiri Pandits are concerned. You know, the tragedy is that Kashmiri Pandits, who have suffered and still suffering since last 35 years, the worst ever genocide which happened on them, and ethnic cleansing, and whenever they approached the courts came up with an answer saying that, the cases are very old, and we don't have time and we don't have proofs to prove what happened to Kashmiri Pandits. Having said that, if today Yasin Malik's houses have been raided, his properties have been raided, it's a welcome sign, and I hope that this also doesn't become another eyewash for for taking action against the terrorists and their entire gang of who's responsible for our genocide. So anything which the government does as far as getting justice to Kashmiri Pandits is a welcome sign. We are always been hopeful. We are waiting for justice since last 35 years, and we hope that this action now taken against Yasin Malik's involvement as the murder of Sarla Bhat, whose family is also being waiting to get justice, is a very welcome sign. In taking action against the terrorists who are responsible for our exodus.
Right. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Pandit, Kashmiri activist. Also being joined by Mr. Lalit Ambardar, Kashmiri activist, joining us here. Mr. Ambardar, Yasin Malik's house is being searched by the SIA in connection with the Sarla Bhat murder case. And once again, it's time for accountability. And justice is coming in after 35 years, which gives hope for further justice for those crimes which were committed in 1990. Yeah,
it's too little. It's too little and too. Just imagine 35 years have passed by, and now we are trying to probe one of the heinous acts committed against Kashmiri Hindus in Kashmir. Sarla Bhat was not only raped and killed, shot dead. She was raped, and her naked body was left on the road with JKLF branded on her naked body with cigarette bits. This is the against humanity committed against Kashmiri Hindus. And ironically, if his house is being raided in Kashmir, but he is being tried in Delhi for a crime like terror funding, he's not being tried for crimes against humanity committed against Kashmiri Hindus. So I think the government of India, instead of picking up one case here and there, Justice Ganju, I don't know what happened to the case, and Satish Tiku, what happened to that case? And now it is Sarla Bhat. You cannot pick and choose the cases of genocide. It was a religious Hindu cleansing in Kashmir, and genocide was committed. Unless I suggest this is a good move. We welcome and we have been awaiting this kind of action from the government. I think it will be fruitful. It will lead to a logical conclusion if only government, number one, acknowledges formally that what Kashmiri Hindus suffered was genocide, sets up a tribunal, because India is a signatory to international crimes of International Genocide Convention, and will follow it accordingly international rules. So the tribunal has to be set up. 3, and number 2, we don't have a law against genocide in the Indian constitution. So we have presented a Kashmir Genocide and Prevention of Atrocities Bill, which is lying with the parliament, all member parliamentarians with the government. I think this is a time to take it up and take these cases to logical conclusion. Unless, of course, we have to hear it again from the Milords with due regards to the Supreme Court. They just threw out our application of justice, saying that 30 years have passed by. Where are we going to find the witnesses for these crimes of genocide? Can you imagine Hasina Wajid was ousted? One of the reasons that she was ousted of Bangladesh was she tried the criminals of genocide in East Pakistan after so many years, after 71. The genocidal jihadis of age 80 plus were hanged during her regime. That is one of the reasons Jamaat-e-Islami, the Islamists of Bangladesh, got out with her. So I think in India also we have to set an example. Otherwise, these will be of no use. So we suggest, we welcome this move of the government, but it has to be taken in a proper systematic manner. It's not just one crime or another crime or 2 or 3 crimes. This is a case of genocide. Vandahama massacre, mass massacre. Sangrampura massacre, mass massacre. So I think we are hopeful and we trust the Indian judiciary, we trust the Indian system, and that's why we have been waiting for all these years. We look forward that this is taken to a logical conclusion, and government formally, that's for the first and the foremost thing is for the government to acknowledge formally that it's a case of genocide, and accept, accommodate and follow the parliament must approve of the Kashmir Genocide and Atrocities Prevention Act bill, and also take cases in law. Not once in a while you decide to take Sarla Bhat. And what a Girja Tikku, she was raped and cut on a saw machine. What about her case? What about Justice Ganju's case? What happened? What is the status of that? Satish Tiko, what is the status of that case? We also want to know that. And you cannot take out these one-off cases unless you formally acknowledge this was genocide and follow the international genocide norms against Kashmiri jihadists. And also, don't forget about the people who are supposed to be in the mainstream. For example, Farooq Abdullah, he was then the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. He abandoned Kashmiri Hindus to the mercy of AK-47 wielding jihadists and left Kashmir and fled himself. He should be tried. He should be investigated. What are his role in the genocide of Kashmiri Hindus? Mufti Muhammad Sayyid, he was then India's first Muslim Home Minister who got dreaded terrorists released in exchange for his daughter, but chose to do nothing when it came to Kashmiri Hindu genocide. They were fleeing, they were being massacred at the very time. Nothing was done to prevent that, and his role posthumously should be tried in a genocide tribunal. What was his role? And I think this is what needs to be done. And if Hindu lives matter, and I think in India, Hindu lives must matter. And you have to set a precedent. If you don't care for Hindu lives in India, why should, there's a reason the genocide of Hindus in Pakistan is continuing. Genocide of Hindus in Bangladesh is continuing because we don't have anything in our own country.
You know, we've got to reply, but before I let you go, I just want a closing comment, because we see that Kashmiri Pandits were intimidated, they were forced to flee, or they were forced to convert. Thousands left. But what does justice look like to you? You've answered that question already, but I want you to give us a clear reply. According to you, what is justice? What does final justice look like to you, especially after the Sarla Bhat case has now been reopened?
I think justice was demand, because this is not a case of isolated cases of murder or rape or gang rape. This is a premeditated, properly executed genocide of Kashmiri Hindus. And what you rightly said, the aim was either you relive Galiya Salih, either you merge with us, or you flee, or you get killed, and that's what it was. And this is what it was, and it has to be acknowledged. Kashmiri Hindu population, I will tell you another case. You will be shocked to hear it. In Balakot, the heart of Srinagar city, mother and daughter, Hindu mother and daughter, were both raped and shot in vagina. What about that case? So you cannot pick and choose the cases and deliver the justice. Justice demands that Kashmiri Hindus suffered genocide. It has to be formally acknowledged by the government of India, and you have to set up a tribunal. And tribunal proceedings have to follow international norms of genocide. And then investigate everybody involved at that time in Delhi or in Srinagar. What did they do, or what was their role in this genocide of Kashmiri Hindus?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mambadar, for joining us there. Kashmiri activist joining us here. I just want to go to Zeenat as well, because Zeenat is going ahead and tracking those raids which the SIA is carrying out in central Kashmir area. If you have Zeenat, let's go to Zeenat right now. Zeenat, just a quick update from you. What is happening?
See, there were the raids in the morning. As far as the SIA raids are concerned, they were assisted by the Srinagar police and all part of the CRPF, because it is the investigation, as the SIA have opened the case of Sarla Bhat, for which the raids were carried in the downtown in Srinagar state, where the residence of the jailed JKLF chief Yasin Malik, his residence in Mysuma was raided along with his relatives, because JKLF is directly involved in the rape and murder of Sarla Bhat, a nurse working at Sher Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences. Then she was abducted from the Haba Khatun hostel where she was residing, and she was kept she was in custody of JKLF goons for around 4 to 5 days, and her mutilated body was recovered then from the Karnataka Srinagar. Now that the case has been opened by the SIA, which is a state investigative agency, the part of the Jammu and Kashmir police, that tells you that the government is picking up the cases where the Kashmiri Pandits were killed. They are the cases of the Kashmiri Pandit. We have been seeing the LG along with his administration is doing justice to those who have suffered due to this terrorism of around more than three long decades. Recently, there were job letters that were given to those who have suffered in the hands of these terrorists from Hizbul Mujahideen, JKLF and all other. But meanwhile, if you go and look into the case of the Sarla Bhat, a young girl of 27-year-old, she was treating patients at the Sher-e-Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences, wherefrom she was abducted, and then the mutilated body was found in Karnataka, and with a note that she was a police informer, the way she was tagged. In fact, the father was denied a proper burial to her, proper cremation of her daughter, as he was getting continuous threat. In fact, this is one of the grim pictures where from the Kashmiri Pandits started leaving the valley, as he rightly said, so Ambardar, that there was a slogan that either you leave the valley or you get killed. So that was the slogan that was raised by these terror outfits, because remembering the cases of the Vandahama killings or the Justice Neelkant Gunju or the Girja Tikku and all of the people of the Kashmiri Pandits, because this was more like to tell them the setting an example by this JKLF and other Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists that Kashmiri Pandits, this land does not belong to them and Kashmir is only for Muslims. So this was the campaign that was carried in the beginning of the 90s and which continued for a couple of years, for which the Kashmiri Pandits even still believe, as they say, that the government then, which was headed by the Dr. Farooq Abdullah, the sitting chief minister then, that he remained mum, and not much was done for the Kashmiri Pandits when they started residing in Jakti camps in Jammu, and not much efforts have been done by the government for their return. Though government of Jammu and Kashmir, government of India had tried multiple campaigns, they have raised this issue that the return of the Kashmiri Pandits, but Kashmiri Pandits still feel that the fear is there. They don't want to return because the situation is not conducive. If you go back some couple of years back, you witness the killing of Kashmiri Pandits like Medicaid, right. Binduru, or the Kashmiri teachers. They were recently killed by the terrorists, although the government and the police claims that the terrorists who were involved in those killings have been neutralized. But to regain the confidence of the Kashmiri Pandits, the government has to walk the talk and deliver the justice, like the cases of, like in the case of Sarla Bhat or many other cases, because justice no doubt has been delayed, but it's not like it will be denied. So government is focusing to punish those who were part of this gang rape and the mutilation of her body.
All right, thank you, students, for getting those details coming in. We'll have to move ahead right now, viewers, to some of the other stories we're tracking on Republic TV. Let's move ahead. We're getting some more updates coming in, especially we move now to some of the other stories we're tracking here, Republic TV. And top Congress sources revealed that the inside story behind K.N. Rajana's removal from the Karnataka cabinet. Congress sources reveal full inside story of ministers sacking. And it's a source-based information coming in, by the way, viewers. So let's tell you exactly what's happened. Venugopal dialed Siddaramaiah, asked him to drop Rajana, and the Congress sources have said that Rahul asked for Rajana to be sacked. That is right. Big update coming in here on Republic TV, because remember that K.N. Rajana has been sacked from Karnataka cabinet amid Congress seeking action over criticizing Rahul's vote theft charges. And this is a huge update coming in. Very big development had come in where Karnataka Cooperation Minister K.N. Rajana was sacked from the cabinet. After that, we have seen back-to-back updates coming here on Republic TV, and some source-based information is revealing the full inside story, what really happened behind closed doors. Sources say that Venugopal dialed Siddaramaiah, asked him to drop Rajana. Okay, let's move ahead. We're getting some more breaking updates coming in, some more reactions on the story coming in right now, because from what we understand, Deputy CM Kumar has said that sacking Rajana was part of the party's decision. And meanwhile, in Madhugiri, Congress councillor VC Manjunath has resigned from his municipality. In a letter to the sub-divisional officer, she said that the decision was of her own will. Girija is known to be a close supporter of Rajana, and her resignation adds to the political aftershocks following his ouster. So back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV. We have some reactions as well. So let's go ahead and play them out.
About it, my party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command.
All right, let's go straight across to Mr. Bharat Shetty, BJP MLA, who's joining us right now on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us here, Mr. Shetty. And of course, we see a lot of chaotic developments which are coming in, where we see K.N. Rajanna was sacked from Karnataka cabinet amid Congress seeking action over criticizing Rahul's vote theft charges. Now DKS is saying that Rajanna was sacked by the party. If you could just give your first reaction as to what are we exactly seeing inside the Congress, one more case of infighting coming out.
This is a continuing case of infighting. Yesterday, ex-minister Rajanna has come out in the open and is told that there is a big conspiracy behind him being axed from the post of the minister, and also he might be thrown out from the party membership also. He himself has told that there is a big conspiracy. This is not BJP telling or somebody else telling. Congress, which has been claiming that they are the champions of SC/ST community, now they have sacked one tall ST leader just because he said the truth. And they have done this previously also. They have axed Akhanda Srinivas for an SC leader for no mistake of his. In the KJD case, when there was an arson and people attacked the police station and all these things, the person who has won the Congress seat with the highest margin was not given a seat also. The Congress High Command is of the opinion that it's my way or the highway. You have to listen to us. Whatever foolish comments we make, you guys have to fall in line. And a senior leader, Rajanna, refused to fall in line. He said, what you're telling is false. Our government was there when the voter list was made. It is our responsibility. And any child will know that it is a mistake of the Congress government if a wrongdoing has been done. So he has been thrown away just because he decided to tell the truth. And he's a very experienced senior leader. He's not a small-time leader or anything. He's a leader who has worked lots in the cooperative sector and all these things. Rahul Gandhi, again, he has showed his childish face, and they've just thrown him out of the party, thrown him from the action from the post of the minister.
Thank you, Mr. Shetty. BJP. Thank you, Mr. Shetty, BJP MLA, for joining us here on what we see playing out in the Karnataka Congress. We'll have to move ahead right now, viewers, because after we see the Supreme Court order, Rajasthan High Court directed municipal bodies to remove stray dogs from roads. As per the directions of the Supreme Court, in the next 8 weeks, all stray dogs in Delhi NCR will be rounded up and sent to dog shelters outside the city. The Supreme Court, while giving the order, observed strongly that young children should not fall prey to rabies at any cost, and that no sentiments should be involved in carrying out the order. Take a look.
In a landmark order, the Supreme Court of India has initiated massive directions against the stray dog menace in the national capital of Delhi. In a suo motu case taken up by the bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice R. Mahadevan, the Supreme Court observed infants and young children should not fall prey to rabies, and that they should be able to move freely without the fear of being bitten by stray dogs.
The Supreme Court today came down heavily on the menace of stray dogs in India. They've also said that what has to be seen most is public safety, especially of toddlers and babies. In a slew of directions that have been passed, the Supreme Court has said stray dogs should no longer be on the streets. They have to immediately be picked up. In directions they have given out, they've also questioned animal lovers and said, will you bring back the lives of those who've lost their lives to stray dogs and their menace? The Supreme Court also adds in this very grim situation, even which has been supported by the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, who said extreme steps need to be taken. The Supreme Court says not a single captured dog is going to be released back into the streets.
The order of the Supreme Court comes amid a recent spate of dog bites reported across the nation. In another case of dog menace reported in Delhi's Ashok Vihar just a few weeks ago, meanwhile, the order of the Supreme Court vis-a-vis stray dog menace in Delhi was welcomed by the Delhi Chief Minister.
देखिए, ये बात सच है, दिल्ली की जनता वर्षों से इस विषय पे परेशान है और सरकार, पिछली सरकारों ने जो किया और नगर निगम में जिस तरीके से काम चल रहा था, हम उन सब के ऊपर लगातार हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद से इन विषयों पे चर्चा करते हुए इसके समाधानों पे वर्कआउट कर ही रहे थे। इसमें माननीय कोर्ट ने जो आदेश दिया है वो भी हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारा एक ही ध्येय है, दिल्ली की जनता को राहत देना।
However, stray dog activists said they were disappointed by the ruling.
Orders were given to impound about 10 lakh dogs that live in Delhi and NCR in pounds which don't exist, by manpower which does not exist, and using budget which has not been allocated. So, and of course bypassing the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act and bypassing the Animal Birth Control Rules 2023 altogether. Also, negating an order of the Honorable Supreme Court by two-judge bench on this similar issue where the said rules, animal birth control rules, were upheld.
Meanwhile, the victims and their family members are rejoicing over the Supreme Court order.
It's a sigh of relief for people like us who actually had to undergo a trauma of their children having been bitten by stray dogs. I used to feel helpless in the past because there were a lot of legal, battles that people like us who have tried to fight it out. But always there was a law opposing us, and it was always the animals' rights activists who were getting the upper hand, which I felt was unfair because, it has to be a balance. And with this order, I hope there's a ray of hope that this is now going to start in the right direction, and eventually we all will be getting rid of this menace.
As NCR begins to implement the Supreme Court order over the next 8 weeks, Rajasthan High Court directed municipal bodies to remove stray dogs from the roads. The court further said that if anyone obstructs the municipal bodies from removing stray animals, then municipal officials are at liberty to take action against such persons.
And viewers, much more coming right up. We are live in breaking. We'll talk about the other stories we are tracking right now, especially with Bilawal Bhutto reiterating empty war rhetoric and saying if India builds dams, there will be a war. And Congress MP and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comments, but says cricket is a different matter altogether. Stay tuned, viewers. We are live and breaking.
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखा
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
One of the only questions people asked us here in the media, and you would go outside of office, and when you meet people in public, at functions, at events, even at home sometimes, they would ask you that question, did we really lose jets? Who lost jets? How many jets did Pakistani Air Force lose? Now, there is a number to it, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, it's official, and you can't contest these numbers. The Indian Air Force has gone on record saying 5 Pakistani fighter jets were shot down along with one plane which is meant for advanced warning and air surveillance. And AWACS system planes were shot down along with 5 jets. 5 jets were brought down by the S-400. That's a big statement. I have Major General Sudhakarji joining us on this edition of the podcast on republicworld.com. To put this in perspective, General Sudhakarji, thank you for joining us, sir. This is a big statement. It just settles the debate once and for all.
Niranjan, firstly, thank you so much for having invited me for this podcast. And a little while back, we are on the channel, we are talking about it. There are many issues which actually misses the eye. We get, and in fact, the audience doesn't have so much time to glean into the details and go into the finer aspects. It is definitely a big statement. And I'm convinced, as an ex-general
And here are the top headlines that we're tracking at 10:30 a.m. this morning. After nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat case reopened, incriminating evidence of Pak terror unearthed.
Today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment.
Trump issues threats statement, says tariffs have the United States not only financially but also by giving great power over enemies. United States declares Balochistan Liberation Army Majid Brigade as terror groups. United States and China extend tariff truce by another 90 days amid tension.
ने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की, लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते.
After Asim Munir, it is Bilawal Bhutto who has reiterated empty war rhetoric, says if India builds dam, there will be a war. Congress MP and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comments, but says cricket is a different matter.
भारत सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को खत्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहे हैं.
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा.
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है.
Karnataka minister ousted over voter list remarks, upset party now says it's a conspiracy against him. And we start this edition with some breaking news that's coming in. This is in regard with Andhra Pradesh by-elections that are going to be held. Now, this news is specifically coming from Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh, where the YSRCP State General Secretary SV Satish Reddy has allegedly been under house arrest ahead of the ZPTC by-elections. The YSRCP State General Secretary SV Satish Reddy has alleged that the police and authorities are encouraging ruling party members to ransack the houses of the opposition parties. Reddy further alleged that TDP goons have been allowed to roam freely to go near the polling stations. They have not been allowed the YSRCP agents to go inside the polling booth, slamming the TDP government. Reddy says that this atmosphere has arisen to satisfy the egos and desires of Nara Lokesh, and the Chandrababu Naidu government is like a Dhritarashtra government led by Duryodhana. War of words there over Andhra Pradesh by-elections. Remember, even as we talk, there's a latest breaking news that we are getting in, that the Pulivendula has been tense before the ZPTC by polls. YSRCP has alleged TDP manipulating the elections. Remember what we're talking about here. The Pulivendula is a very strong hold of the Jagan government. Now, Pulivendula is Jagan's constituency, and after 35 years is where the elections are happening. We're also getting many reactions on that story. Let's listen in.
The police and the authorities who are supposed to conduct the elections in a fair manner, they are the first ones to go and encourage the ruling party members to ransack the houses of the opposition parties. They're not allowing the voters to come to the booths. The Gundas, the Telugu Party Gundas who have gathered in large numbers, they have been allowed freely to go near the polling stations. They have surrendered the houses of YCP cadres. They have not allowed the YCP cadres agents to go inside the polling booth. I don't understand where this country is going to be led to. This atmosphere has arisen because to satisfy the egos and to satisfy the desires of Mr. Lokesh. So this Chandrababu Naidu's government is like a Dhritarashtra government led by Duryodhana.
Joining us on the phone line is Jyotsna Tirunagiri, TDP spokesperson. Jyotsna, very good morning to you. The Andhra Pradesh by-elections and the war of words has already started. YSRCP is alleging that there has been a poll manipulation to favour the TDP and that their leaders have been house arrested. However, they have nothing to substantiate these claims.
Statement by them, that's the only thing I can say, because I'll tell you one thing. After almost 30 long years, not one, not two, not three, after 30 long years, people of Pulivendula, they are going and participating in free and fair elections that are happening for the ZPTC there, which the YSRCP is unable to digest. That's the reason they come up with all this, stupid statements saying that, they have been house arrested and all. Yes, if you are, if you are trying to obstruct the duties of the election officers, if you are trying to create law and order issues, then definitely you will be taken into this thing so that nothing happens in that particular place and free and fair elections happen. That's the only thing. And it's not just their own people. Even our own MLC, Mr. Rambhupal Reddy, has also been house arrested because the police is doing their duty. The Election Commission is doing their duty as to ensure that there is complete free and fair elections that are happening. And as I said, after 30 long years, people of Pulivendula and Ondimita are coming out to exercise their vote. And also here, even after all this, I can give you thousands of examples where the vehicles have been ransacked by these YSRCP goons, vehicles of people, normal citizens who are going and trying to exercise their votes have been ransacked. Literally, they have been attacked. They have been attacked with rods and, sticks. And they have been stopped from, going to the polling booths. This all is happening. So definitely police is doing their duty, and after 30 years, if the people are expecting freedom for them and if the people are expecting that they should be coming out of this vicious circle of YSRCP and the rule of those particular people, then definitely it should happen, I believe. And all the claims by Mr. Satish Reddy are absolute ridiculous, and I think the only thing is that they are They're highly frustrated. They know they are going to lose. For sure, they are going to lose. So definitely, that's the only reason they are making such kind of statements. Nothing more to it.
Right, Joseph. Thank you very much for sharing your views on that. Appreciate you joining us here on the Morning Bulletin. And with that, we move on to some other stories that we are tracking. And this one is about how Pakistan leaders have once again resorted to fear-mongering. And all of those, remember, viewers, are nothing but hollow claims. After Asim Munir, it is the former Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto who's resorted to war-mongering tactics over the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty, where Bhutto has now said that Pakistan is ready to fight with India after Asim Munir, another hollow and empty threat, war rhetoric being made by Bilawal Bhutto. Listen into that statement.
हमने सब एक होके मोदी की बर्बारियत पे, मोदी के इस हमले के बारे में, मोदी के इस इरादे के बारे में आवाज़ उठाना है और जिदोजहद करना है ताकि इस जुल्म को भी हम रोक सकें। मैं जानता हूं कि आप में इतना ताकत है, इस मुल्क के अवाम में इतना ताकत है कि जंग की सूरत हो तो जंग में भी हम इनका मुकाबला कर सकते हैं और जो आपके 6 के 6 दरिया है वो वापस हासिल भी कर सकते हैं। और अगर ये हमें मजबूर करते हैं, पाकिस्तान ने ये जंग नहीं छेड़ा था, हम हमेशा अमन के बारे में बात करते हैं। जहां दुनिया भर में पाकिस्तान के सफ़ीर पहुंचे, नुमाइंदे पहुंचे, हमने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की। लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ़ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते, हम झुकते ही नहीं हैं। और अगर आप सिंधु की तरफ इस किस्म की हमला के बारे में सोचेंगे तो फिर पाकिस्तान के हर सूबे के अवाम आपका मुकाबला करने के लिए तैयार है और ये ऐसे जंग है जो आप ज़रूर हारेंगे।
All right, joining us on the broadcast is retired Major General Rajan Kochar on the phone line. Rajan Kochar, A.K. Sivach, a very good morning to you. I beg your pardon. Major General A.K. Sivach is joining us on the phone line this morning. A.K. Sivach, a very hollow and empty war rhetoric that has come out from Bilawal Bhutto yet again. He's made these comments in the past as well. He's doing it again. And Pakistan is doing nothing but just making a global embarrassment out of themselves on the global stage.
No doubt about it. It is the rhetoric which are coming from Pakistan which are no meaning. This is for their domestic constituency. Bilawal Bhutto is known to be giving such statements earlier also. It has no meaning. India is not going to get blackmailed by any statement either given by Bilawal Bhutto or Jana Asim Munir from the US soil. And the question comes is Pakistan must realize it that Pakistan is a nuclear state, but it is also a terrorist state. And we are now trying to convey to the whole world the nuclear weapons in Pakistan are not safe. They must be taken by either by the or by the East. The reason is the had passed this state from Florida while having a private dinner that they can use a nuclear weapon against India and they will take 50% of the world with them if they are thinking. This is a very, very irresponsible statement. And in fact, America should take control of that. And it also shows that Pakistan is not in control of their nuclear weapons. And there is a chance of a civil war taking place in Pakistan. And Pakistan nuclear weapons also falling into the hands of a terrorist organization or non-state actors. But having said so, one can say that as on today, Pakistan is really going in a deep crisis because there is a political instability, there is an economic crisis, and the terrorism is increasing manifold in
Right, sir.
Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or in Pakistan or in Pakistan, there can be a break into 4 provinces, but Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh and Punjab. Pakistan can. My point is, Bilawal Bhutto must understand that the hollow rhetoric, challenges coming for Pakistan has no meaning. India has done a pause as far as Operation Sindoor is concerned. We have made a new normal that in case if there is a terrorist action from the Pakistan side, it will be taken as an act of war. And also two other issues which we have made it very clear that this time the response will be more remote.
Right, sir. Major General A.K. Sivash, thank you very much for sharing your views on that. Rightly pointed out with you, whatever Bilawal Bhutto has said has complete meaning. It is an illogical statement. With that, we move forward to what's happening here in India. Congress MP and BCCI Vice President Rajiv Shukla, when asked about whether India should play with Pakistan, even after the hollow threat comments by Asim Munir, by Bilawal Bhutto, he says that, however, Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir's nuclear threat against India, the government of India should talk to Donald Trump on how and why this is allowed. But when asked about playing cricket with Pakistan, he says that it is a completely different matter. Mr. Rajiv Shukla, how is playing with Pakistan a different matter when it comes to keeping nation above cricket? Listen to that statement of Rajiv Shukla, the BCCI Vice President.
ने जो बोला है वो बहुत गलत बोला है और उससे ज़्यादा कि अमेरिकन धरती पर बोला। तो भारत सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को ख़त्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहे हैं।
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा।
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है।
आपको लगता है सरकार को एक बार जो है पीएम को इस बारे
नहीं,
में
सरकार को बोलना चाहिए और सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बाकायदे ऑफिशियली उठाना चाहिए इस मुद्दे को।
Of the BCCI Vice President, who said that cricket is a completely different matter and that it should not be mixed. However, the nation is asking and nation is posing these tough questions to the BCCI on why play with Pakistan if all they have done all this while is attack India via Pahalgam and then talk about India, threaten India, that too from the soil of the United States. Why is it that BCCI is keeping stunning silence? That's the stern question that the nation is asking, and the BCCI must act. With that, it's time for us to now slip into a short break, but after the break, getting you the details and top voices on how, after nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat's case has been reopened and incriminating evidence of Pak terror has been unearthed. Also coming up after the break, Donald Trump's statement where he says that tariff has given the United States an edge over the enemy.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
What makes you a legend? Maybe that you're followed by everyone. Maybe that you follow no one. Maybe both. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
India has successfully completed trials of its indigenously developed Zorawar light tank, a platform purpose-built for high-altitude warfare where traditional heavy armor struggles. Developed jointly by DRDO and Larsen & Toubro, the 25-ton tank is powered by a high-output Cummins diesel engine, delivering close to 40 horsepower per ton, critical for operating in oxygen-thin mountain air. Its primary armament is a 105mm Cockerel rifled gun integrated into a modern turret, capable of firing both kinetic rounds and anti-tank guided missiles. Supporting this is a remote-controlled 7.62mm machine gun, twin 80GM launcher, advanced thermal sights, active protection systems, and modular composite armor. Amphibious capability and AI-driven situational awareness further enhance its versatility. The tank has already passed live fire and mobility trials in desert conditions, followed by high-altitude trials at over 4,200 meters in Ladakh, where it demonstrated accurate firing, stable mobility, and reliability under extreme environmental stress. The first phase of testing confirmed its ability to maneuver on narrow mountain tracks, climb steep gradients, and maintain effective combat performance in cold, low-oxygen conditions. A second prototype with upgrades is expected to roll out in late 2025 for user trials. Strategically, Zorawar is designed to address a gap exposed during the 2020 standoff with China, when the Indian Army had to deploy T-72 and T-90 main battle tanks, over 45 tons each, into the high Himalayas. These heavier tanks struggled with mobility and sustainment, while the PLA's lighter Type 15 tanks exploited the terrain advantage. Zorawar closes that gap, giving India an air-transportable, fast-moving and well-armed option that can be deployed rapidly to contested heights before an adversary can consolidate. The lessons of the Ukraine war underline why
Thank you for staying with Republic, and there's some breaking news that's coming in where we learned rupee has risen to 7 paise to 87.68 against the United States dollar in the early trade. Sensex on Tuesday climbed 66.28 points to 80,670.36. Nifty is up by 42.85 points to 24,627.90 in the early trade. The benchmark BSE Sensex has rallied 746 points to close above the 80,000 mark on Monday, following buying in oil, auto and banking shares amid fresh foreign fund inflow. That might not be a very good news for Donald Trump, but early good morning for Indian markets as Sensex climbs nearly 66.28 points to 80,670.36. All right, good news for India as far as India's Sensex is concerned. The markets have climbed. Sensex climbs to 66.28. The rupee has risen to 7 paise to 87.68 against the United States dollars. And remember, all of this comes even after Donald Trump's escalating tariff war on India. Good news for the Indian markets amid Donald Trump escalating his tariff war, the Indian economy growing stronger by each passing day. And this, remember, comes even after Donald Trump had called India's economy, quote unquote, a dead economy. Sensex has climbed. Rupee has risen to 7 paise to 87.6 against the United States dollar. Very good news as far as the Indian markets are concerned. Moving on, after the Supreme Court order, Rajasthan High Court has directed municipal bodies to remove stray dogs from roads. As per the directions of the Supreme Court, in the next 8 weeks, all stray dogs in Delhi NCR region will be rounded up and sent to dog shelters outside the city. The Supreme Court, while giving the order, observed strongly that young children should not fall prey to rabies at any cost and that no sentiments should be involved in carrying out the order. How feasible is this order? Here's a report on that.
In a landmark order, the Supreme Court of India has initiated massive directions against the stray dog menace in the national capital of Delhi. In a suo motu case taken up by the bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice R. Mahadevan, the Supreme Court observed infants and young children should not fall prey to rabies and that they should be able to move freely without the fear of being bitten by stray dogs.
The Supreme Court today came down heavily on the menace of stray dogs in India. They've also said that what has to be seen most is public safety, especially of toddlers and babies. In a slew of directions that have been passed, the Supreme Court has said stray dogs should no longer be on the streets. They have to immediately be picked up. In directions they have given out, they've also questioned animal lovers and said, will you bring back the lives of those who've lost their lives to stray dogs and their menace? The Supreme Court also adds in this very grim situation, even which has been supported by the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, who said extreme steps need to be taken. The Supreme Court says not a single captured dog is going to be released back into the streets.
The order of the Supreme Court comes amid a recent spate of dog bites reported across the nation. In another case of dog menace reported in Delhi's Ashok Vihar just a few weeks ago, Meanwhile, the order of the Supreme Court vis-a-vis stray dog menace in Delhi was welcomed by the Delhi Chief Minister.
Time for us to now slip into a short break. After the break, we'll get to the details of Pakistan minister's empty and hollow claims issuing a threat against India. Also coming up after the break, even as Pakistan continues to issue threats from a global stage, BCCI says that they will continue to play with Pakistan.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
और अगर हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, इकोनॉमी और ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ेगा, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमें किसी के पास जाना पड़ेगा। आज जो दादागिरी करते इसलिए कर रहे कि वो आर्थिक दृष्टि से संपन्न है। दादागिरी इसलिए करते हैं कि उनके पास टेक्नोलॉजी है। अगर उनसे अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी और रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास आएंगे तो हमें दादागिरी नहीं करनी है। हमारी संस्कृति तो ये कहती है कि विश्व का कल्याण हो।
कुछ लोग हैं जो भारत के का विकास जितनी तेजी के साथ हो रहा है उन्हें रास नहीं आ रहा है, उन्हें अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है। सबके बास तो हम हैं। भारत कैसे इतनी तेजी के साथ
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ। 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
One of the only questions people asked us here in the media, and you would go outside of office, and when you meet people in public, at functions, at events, even at home sometimes, they would ask you that question: did we really lose jets? Who lost jets? How many jets did Pakistani Air Force lose? Now, there is a number to it, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, it's official, and you can't contest these numbers. The Indian Air Force has gone on record saying 5 Pakistani fighter jets were shot down, along with one plane which is meant for advanced warning and air surveillance. And AWACS system planes were shot down, along with 5 jets. 5 jets were brought down by the S-400. That's a big statement. I have Major General Sudhakarji joining us on this edition of the podcast on republicworld.com. To put this in perspective, General Sudhakarji, thank you for joining us, sir. This is a big statement. It just settles the debate once and for all.
Niranjan, firstly, thank you so much for having invited me for this podcast. And a little while back, we are on the channel, we are talking about it. There are many issues which actually misses the eye.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
I'm breaking up Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest coming in. The top story comes in from Karnataka, where K.N. Rajanna, the minister who was sacked, says he will expose a conspiracy. That is right. Back-to-back updates coming in here as infighting continues in the Karnataka Congress. All this and much more coming right up. But as usual, the headlines first. Let's get started. After nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat case reopened, incriminating evidence of Pakistan terror unearthed.
The tariffs have helped. It's given us not only the money, it's billions, trillions of dollars of money, but it gives us great power over enemies. We solved 5 wars.
Trump issues a fresh statement, says tariffs have U.S. not only financially but also by giving great power over enemies. U.S. declares Balochistan Liberation Army Majid Brigade as terror group. US and China extend tariff truce by another 90 days amid tensions.
ने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की, लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ बिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते।
Bilawal Bhutto reiterates anti-war rhetoric and says if India builds dams, there will be war.
भारत सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को खत्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहे हैं।
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा।
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है।
Congress MP and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Modi comments, but says cricket is a different matter. Karnataka minister ousted after voterless remarks. Upset party now says it is a conspiracy against him. Let's move ahead. Day after March to EC office, the opposition parties are once again staging a protest over SIR at Makar Dwar, that is right, of the parliament. So once again, we see the opposition going ahead and staging a protest against SIR, something that they have been doing pretty much every day of the parliament monsoon session. So we'll put those pictures out for you in a short while from now, where we see that once again the opposition is going ahead and are protesting over the SIR, and they're calling it a vote theft. So we have those pictures coming in for you. You can see that top leaders are already there. So we see Priyanka Gandhi, we see Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Sonia Gandhi, and other top leaders once again protesting against the SIR. And Mallikarjun Kharge can also be seen them. It's coming after opposition parties marched to EC in New Delhi on Monday, demanding a rollback of the SIR. Let's go ahead and play out what my colleague Harsha has seen from the ground.
Right now I'm reporting from Makar Dwar of the Parliament, and as the monsoon session, this is the 3rd week and the opposition protest still continues. Yesterday after the opposition marched to ECI, now we are witnessing here the opposition protest where they have clearly wore the t-shirts saying Minta Devi, this Minta Devi, and the lady's picture could also be seen in the t-shirts which each and every opposition party leaders are wearing here. There's a 124 years lady whose name is in the electoral rolls, and this is what opposition party leaders are continuously highlighting, that how the name of the people in the electoral roll in Bihar which has been mentioned is not appropriate, and therefore SIR should be quit. Right now we see opposition leaders wearing t-shirts. We see Priyanka Gandhi and also senior opposition party leaders Sonia Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge could also be seen here in the protest with the banner, placards, hoardings in their hand. And not only this, yesterday after the protest march till Election Commission of India, Election Commission also stated that what was the presentation given by the opposition leaders and how this issue is a baseless issue and doesn't require to quit SIR. And also they have been stating that there has been response from the election commissioner officer from Karnataka and other states as well who have denied the baseless claims made by opposition party leaders. But right now what we see here is once again today that opposition parties are again stating that vote theft should be completely stopped. Harsha Zanwani for Republic TV from Makardwar.
Yes, let's go straight across to Harsha, who's joining us right now. Yes, Harsha, I'm coming across to you. We see once again, this is not the first time or second time or third time. In fact, every single day of the Parliament monsoon session, we see opposition holding these protests. What happened today? Yes, Harsha.
Shivangi, this is the fourth week of the monsoon session and opposition demand to quit SIR still prevails. The opposition has been demanding since the day one of the monsoon session that there should be discussion and debate over the special intensive revision, and the government body has been continuously stating that it's not possible because Election Commission of India is a constitutional body and on the working of Election Commission of India there cannot be a discussion on any of the rules, whether it be Rule 267 or whether it be Rule 167. In any of the rules there could be no discussion on the working of Election Commission of India. But opposition leaders are adamant. Shivangi, we also know that this year, at the end of this year, there is election in Bihar, and next year there are elections in West Bengal and Tamil Nadu as well. And the opposition leaders believe that this special intensive revision by the Election Commission of India is biased, and several names are added and several names are deleted from the electoral rolls of the people who are the genuine voters. And in Bihar, if we see, there are 65.64 lakh people names which have been deleted from the electoral rolls, and many of these people are still residing in Bihar. They were the voter of Bihar till the last assembly election. So why are they being deleted? And also opposition leaders believe that it is in the behest of the ruling body. The Election Commission of India is working. And also Rahul Gandhi gave a very detailed presentation about 1,11,000 voters in the electoral rolls which are fake, and how this will impact the coming assembly elections in Bihar. And that is the reason why attempt of the march till ECI was carried out by opposition party leaders yesterday. We saw the march where Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and other opposition parties were leading the march. Many were detained at the Parliamentary State Thana. Only a delegation of few were allowed in the Election Commission of India. And also Election Commission of India shared the details which were given by the Karnataka, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh Election Commission offers, where they clearly stated that opposition's claims are baseless, and also special intensive revision is the foolproof documentation proof of the people who are residing in the state of Bihar for the assembly election. As in the last assembly election, many voters who have voted were either the illegal immigrants or the ones who voted were even not alive. So there is a paragraph which the Election Commission of India has already given about the detailed report which the opposition party leaders have given, and also the response of the commission to the opposition party leaders. But yes, Parliament nonetheless is not able to run because of the continuous disruption from the opposition party leaders. We have seen in both the houses, upper house and lower house, that how the disruption is being disruption is created by the opposition party in Lok Sabha during Kashmiri right now, and also in Raj Sabha during the papers laid by the ministers of the standing committees, and how the disruption is continued by the opposition party leaders demanding the discussion over the SIR, and the showdown continues here in the Parliament, inside and out, be it inside the house or outside, where every day opposition party leaders will be seen holding the placards and also the banners where they are stating that vote theft should be stopped.
All right, Harsha, thank you for getting those details. And we're also getting some reactions coming in. So let's go ahead and play it out.
I'm joined by Congress Member of Parliament Manikam Tagore. Mr. Tagore, you all are wearing T-shirt with Minta Devi's face on it. What is it actually symbolizes and why is it?
Minta Devi is 120 years old and she's been included as the voter. And the election commission has completely failed. It has become BJP's department. Gyaneshwar Singh and Mr. Rajiv Kumar has completely finished the election commission's integrity. 124 years old lady has been included as first time voter.
Okay, we have to, let's go back to Harsha. We have Harsha with us because we are getting all these pictures coming in, and once again we see that the opposition Congress as well creating huge ruckus. And Harsha, if you're there, okay, we'll go to Harsha in a short while from now, but the Parliament monsoon session day 17, Already seeing a lot of updates in terms of what the opposition is doing, staging a protest in Parliament. Already we see that the Congress MP Randeep Singh Surjewala has submitted a notice in the Rajya Sabha under Rule 267 seeking the suspension of House's scheduled business to discuss what he describes as a serious concern over the integrity of India's electoral processes. And we'll try to get you more updates in terms of what we can expect next on that. But remember, this is coming in as we are tracking the Parliament monsoon session very closely. Let's go ahead to some of the other stories we're tracking here on Republic TV. And just hours after being dropped, I repeat, hours after being dropped from the Karnataka cabinet, K.N. Rajanna has now alleged a huge conspiracy behind his dismissal. Speaking as a former minister, Rajanna says that he knows who is behind the plot and will reveal the details in the coming days. He added that he will personally go to Delhi to convince Rahul Gandhi and clear what he calls misconceptions. So that is what he's saying right now, viewers. Back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV, and one more case of infighting within the Congress. Karnataka Minister K.N. Rajanna was ousted by the Congress. He said he's going to go ahead and meet Rahul Gandhi and explain what really happened. Let's go ahead and play out the reactions.
ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿವರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಒಂದು ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಅಥವಾ ವಜಾ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪದ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ, ಆದರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ, ಪಿತೂರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಪಿತೂರಿ ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನೇನು ನಡೆದಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮುಖಂಡಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಏನೇನು ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕಾಲ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಕಾಲ ಬಂದಾಗ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪು ಗ್ರಹಿಕೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನನಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿವರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಒಂದು ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಅಥವಾ ವಜಾ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಪದ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ, ಆದರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ, ಪಿತೂರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಪಿತೂರಿ ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನೇನು ನಡೆದಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮುಖಂಡಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಏನೇನು ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕಾಲ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಕಾಲ ಬಂದಾಗ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪು ಗ್ರಹಿಕೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನನಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇದೆ.
Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar has said that sacking Rajanna was the party's decision. Let's go and play out that reaction.
Know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it and on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it and on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it and on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command. Don't know about it. My party will be looking at everything. My party will be looking at it and on what contest decision has been taken. You all know about it. I don't want to comment on that. We all have to bow to the decision of the party high command.
Viewers, a fake international police station has been busted in Noida. 6 accused were arrested during a late-night raid where they had set up a fully equipped office to pose as a global law enforcement. That is right. Gang used forged ministry certificates, police-like uniforms and bogus human rights websites to extort money, especially in property disputes. Kingpin Bipas Chandra Adhikari, already under CBI and ED scrutiny in earlier corruption and money laundering cases, is among those arrested. Police have seized multiple forged IDs, seals and certificates and are probing interstate and possible international links. So back-to-back updates coming here, viewers. And I have with us Akhil joining us right now. Okay, let's go to Akhil. Akhil, it's a fake police station run by some people from West Bengal. That is what we know so far. Do we know more about who these people are from West Bengal who were running this fake police station?
Well, that's right, Shivangi. If you see in the recent past, what we have seen that there was a fake embassy that was busted by the UPSTF police in Ghaziabad. And now what we are seeing that there's a fake police station as well that has been formed in Noida. So right now, this is the latest development that we have got from that fake police station, which has been named as International Crime Bureau. This was the name being given by those accused. So there were 6 people who basically connived in this entire plot, and they have rented an apartment in Sector 70 of Noida, where they have established this institution, which is named as International Crime Bureau. And they have also said that this institution has got links with Asiapol, Eurasiapol, and Interpol as well. So 3 organizations named were mentioned on the board that was affixed just outside the building, which has been identified as BS 136 in Sector 70. So right now, what we have seen that the Gautam Budh Nagar police team have apprehended all those 6 individuals, and proper investigation is going on in that direction to identify that whether this institution, which has been formed as a fake International Crime Bureau, has got links in another states as well or not. Because if you see the main accused in this case, who has been identified as Bibas Adhikari, he was a former block president of TMC as well. So right now, the police team is trying to connect the dots that whether this person who hails from West Bengal's Birbhum district and 5 other accused, they also hails from Birbhum district. So did they also establish some kind of International Crime Bureau in West Bengal or not? So right now, the Gautam Budh Nagar police team is constantly in touch with the Bengal police team to basically unearth this gang which has been duping people and basically running that fake International Bureau, in which what we have seen that the police team has also seized several incriminating documents, fake stamps, approximately 43,000 of cash, and apart from that, different files of International Crime Bureau in the name of which has been basically misguiding people and luring money from those people under the garb of International Crime Bureau in Gautam Budh Nagar.
All right, thank you for joining us with all those details. I will be coming back to you, Akhil, for more on this story. I really have to move ahead right now to some of the other stories we're tracking here on Republic TV. TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee has made a big statement, and he has said that the Lok Sabha should be dissolved. That is right. This is a statement coming in from TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee, and where he has once again said and made this statement, which is very controversial: the Lok Sabha should be dissolved. And we also are understanding that this statement has now stirred a new controversies. Political showdown over SIR is continuing. Remember, it is day 17 of the Parliament monsoon session, and once again, the opposition is raking up the SIR issue. This time, we see Abhishek Banerjee, I repeat, we see Abhishek Banerjee, who is a TMC MP, saying that Lok Sabha should be dissolved. Let's go and play out that reaction.
कल जो हुआ दिल्ली में लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से, शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से 300 सांसद ऑपोजिशन के, और इनमें बहुत सारे महिला सांसद भी थे, इनको जिस तरीके से दिल्ली पुलिस ने धक्का दिया, इनके साथ बर्ताव किया, इनको रोका, ये स्पष्ट दिखाता है, दर्शाता है कि इलेक्शन कमीशन, चुनाव आयोग डरा हुआ है। इनके पास हमारे सवाल के कोई जवाब नहीं है। अगर वोटर लिस्ट में कोई भी इरेगुलरिटी है तो भाई लोकसभा डिसॉल्व होनी चाहिए। आप लोकसभा डिसॉल्व करिए, पूरा देश में SIR करिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
And viewers, let's move ahead. In a major push for justice after 35 years, the state investigation agency has carried out raids at 8 locations across Srinagar in connection with the 1990 killing of Kashmiri Pandit near Sarla Bhat. Sarla, who defied terrorist diktats to quit her job and leave the valley, was abducted and shot dead by JKLF terrorists. Fresh evidence has now been recovered, viewers, bringing investigators closer to identifying and prosecuting her killers. Yasin Malik's house is also being searched by the SIA in connection with the brutal Sarla Bhat murder case, viewers. So we are getting these back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV. We see the Jammu and Kashmir State Investigation Agency is raiding 8 locations, multiple locations across central Kashmir while investigating the Sarla Bhat case. Let's go straight across to a guest who's joining us right now. We have with us Mr. Ashwani Bhatt, Kashmiri activist, joining us here on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us here, Mr. Bhatt. You know, this is a big milestone in terms of justice for Kashmiri Pandits who were forced to flee, who were forced to convert. They left in large numbers. Do you think the reopening of the Sarla Bhat murder case is a turning point when it comes to justice?
Yeah, look, this is a travesty of justice. For the last 36 years, the butcher of Kashmiri Hindus, the fountainhead of the exodus and genocide of Kashmiri Hindus, has been running free. It's only been a few years that he's in jail, but he should have been hanged by his neck long time back. Now, coming back to specifically to this case of Sarla Bhat. So, Sarla Bhat was a nurse in, Sher-e-Kashmir Medical Institute. And that institute, that Sher-e-Kashmir Medical Institute, was the hotbed of terrorism, of shielding terrorists, hiding them there. And that was a ammunition dump yard for the terrorist. Now, Sarla, while she was working there, probably got a sniff of this, and they feared that probably her being a Hindu, being a kafir, she may spill the beans. She was abducted, she was killed, cold blood, and her bullet-strewn body was thrown on the road. Now, this is not it. Yasin Malik is also undergoing a trial of killing 4 IAF, Indian Air Force officers, in 1990, and since then the trial is still on. The wife of late squadron leader Ravi Khanna, her wife Nirmal Khanna has been knocking at every door of justice. So it's too little, too late. Just a travesty of justice, if you honestly ask me.
All right. Okay, thank you for joining us there, Mr. Bhatt, Kashmiri activist. As we see that this justice after 35 years, Sarla Bhat murder case has been reopened. Raids are underway. We're getting some reactions coming in. Let's play them out.
The brave daughter of Kashmir, Sarla Bhat, who defies the threats of Pakistani terrorists in 1990. On 19th of April 1990, she was abducted, and later on, she was murdered by the Pakistani terrorists. The JKLF terror outfit then claimed the death of Sarla Bhat. Her body was found with multiple bullet injuries. Whole Jammu and Kashmir, whole India was demanding justice with the family of late Sarla Bhat. After 35 years, the case of gruesome killing of Sarla Bhat is again opened. The state investigating agencies started investigation. SIA raided multiple places in Kashmir, including the residence of Yasin Malik, who was then the JKLF chief, a terror outfit.
And viewers, much coming right up. Bilawal Bhutto reiterates empty war rhetoric and says if India builds dams, there will be war. Congress MP and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comments but says cricket is a different matter altogether. Stay tuned. We are live and breaking.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
Being a legend means reaching a point where no one else has. To give others a dream worth chasing. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
India has successfully completed trials of its indigenously developed Zorawar light tank, a platform purpose-built for high-altitude warfare where traditional heavy armor struggles. Developed jointly by DRDO and Larsen & Toubro, the 25-ton tank is powered by a high-output Cummins diesel engine, delivering close to 40 horsepower per ton, critical for operating in oxygen-thin mountain air. Its primary armament is a 105mm Cockerel rifled gun integrated into a modern turret, capable of firing both kinetic rounds and anti-tank guided missiles. Supporting this is a remote-controlled 7.62mm machine gun, twin 80GM launcher, advanced thermal sights, active protection systems, and modular composite armor. Amphibious capability and AI-driven situational awareness further enhance its versatility. The tank has already passed live fire and mobility trials in desert conditions, followed by high-altitude trials at over 4,200 meters in Ladakh, where it demonstrated accurate firing.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
और अगर हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, इकोनॉमी और ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ेगा, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमें किसी के पास जाना पड़ेगा। आज जो दादागिरी करते इसलिए कर रहे कि वो आर्थिक दृष्टि से संपन्न है। दादागिरी इसलिए करते हैं कि उनके पास टेक्नोलॉजी है। अगर उनसे अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी और रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास आएंगे तो हमें दादागिरी नहीं करनी है। हमारी संस्कृति ये कहती है कि विश्व का कल्याण हो।
कुछ लोग हैं जो भारत का विकास जितनी तेजी के साथ हो रहा है उन्हें रास नहीं आ रहा है, उन्हें अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है। सबके बास तो हम हैं। भारत कैसे इतनी तेजी के साथ बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन बहनों भाइयों, भारत जितनी तेजी के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है, मैं पूरे विश्वास के साथ कहता हूं कि भारत को अब दुनिया की कोई ताकत विश्व की एक बड़ी शक्ति बनने से रोक नहीं सकती है।
राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि है और अभी तो देश में जिन जिन विषयों पर चर्चा हो रही उसका नाम न लेते हुए विश्व में हम अनेक प्रकार की समस्याओं का सामना भी कर रहे हैं और इन सब समस्या का उपाय एक ही है, वो है साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, नॉलेज। अगर इस क्षेत्र में नॉलेज जो पावर है उसका उपयोग हम करेंगे और कर रहे हैं तो मुझे लगता है दुनिया झुकती है, झुकाने वाला चाहिए, ये हमारे देश की इम्पोर्टेंट महत्वपूर्ण बात है। एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है
Tension in Andhra Pradesh's Kadapa district. Peru-Indonesia amid elections, YSRCP alleges poll manipulation. Disruption over SIR continues in the parliament. Opposition stages protest. Kong sources reveal the full inside story of ministers sacking. Say Rahul Gandhi asked for Rajana to be sacked. After nearly 3 decades, Sarla Bhat case reopened. Incriminating evidence of Pak terror unearthed. US and China extend tariff truce by another 90 days amid tensions.
ने अमन की बात की, भारत ने जंग की बात की, लेकिन अगर जंग छेड़ा गया है तो हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ पिठाई की धरती से मोदी सरकार को बताना चाहेंगे कि हम पीछे नहीं हटते।
Bilawal Bhutto reiterates empty war rhetoric, says if India builds dams, there will be war.
भारत सरकार को अमेरिकी सरकार से बात उठानी चाहिए कि आपकी धरती से आधी दुनिया को खत्म कर देने के बयान कैसे जारी हो रहा है।
उन्होंने उसके बाद भी बात करी कि इसके बावजूद भी क्रिकेट उनके साथ खेला जाएगा।
नहीं, क्रिकेट वाली बात अलग है।
Congress MP and BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says Indian government must question Trump over Munir comments, but says cricket is a different matter. A very good morning, viewers. It's 11:30 and you're watching Republic TV. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar. First up, we have some big breaking news coming in from Bengaluru. Actor Darshan, who's also a murder accused, along with his accomplice Pavitra Gowda and others who are accused in the Renuka Swami murder case from Chitradurga, have appeared before the court today. Darshan and the accused, all the other accomplices, will stand in the dock before the judge for questioning at the city's 57th City Civil Court. It is possible that a date will be set for direct advocacy after today's appearance. This is the big breaking news that we are tracking at the moment. Darshan to attend court today, and as per the requirement to appear in the court every month, Darshan attended today as well. Darshan, who has obtained bail in the Renuka Swami murder case, has appeared before the court. And on another note, Darshan is also eagerly waiting the Supreme Court's verdict, and Darshan has arrived at the court. Darshan is set to appear at the 57th City Civil Court, and the hearing has been postponed to September 9th. That's the big breaking news that we're tracking. Actor Darshan, who was on a holiday trip chasing sunsets, is finally back in Bengaluru. He was asked to appear before court, and this is a routine that he will have to follow every single month. He will have to appear before the court. In fact, the Supreme Court had come down heavily on the Bengaluru court's order of giving him bail to shoot his movies. And in the Renuka Swami murder case, there is a growing fear that the bail of the remaining accused, including actor Darshan, who was released by the High Court, will be revoked. The Supreme Court, which heard the arguments in this case, reserved its order and gave 10 days to present written arguments not exceeding 3 pages. On August 6, viewers, the lawyers on behalf of the accused, Darshan and Pavitra Gowda, presented a strong written argument, and the lawyers who have requested that actor Darshan's bail not be cancelled have given sufficient reasons in support of the request and have argued in writing that there is no evidence against Darshan in the Renuka Swamy murder case. On the other hand, the Supreme Court has also given a deadline of 6 months to dispose of the petition filed by the state police to cancel Darshan's bail. And recently, Darshan visited the Kamakhya temple, one of the Shakti Pitas, with his wife Vijay Lakshmi standing behind actor Darshan. His wife Vijay Lakshmi also supported him, and Vijay Lakshmi is the one who had posted a mysterious social media post against Ramya on her Instagram and had even given a counter, and Ramya had alleged that Darshan's fans went after her, and she had also filed a complaint saying that the fans threatened to rape her and also kill her. And this comes just after Darshan was granted bail by the Karnataka High Court, and the Supreme Court came down heavily on the Karnataka High Court, questioning the nature and circumstances of the bail, and it had also allocated 10 days' time for Darshan's lawyers to present a strong argument backing their bail. Moving on, viewers, the bypolls in Pulivendula and Vontimitta ZPTC have sparked political tension in Andhra Pradesh, with the ruling TDP keen to wrest the area considered the citadel of YSRCP leader YS Jagan Mohan Reddy, who's also the former Chief Minister. Pulivendula is not only Reddy's assembly constituency, but also his family bastion. And the TDP's attempt to win the seat has evoked strong reactions from YSRCP Supremo, who accused the ruling party of resorting to unfair means and trying to rig the elections. We have Aishwarya joining us live on this broadcast. Aishwarya, a very good morning to you. Help us understand the situation in YSRCP's home bastion, because we saw that video where the YSRCP workers were clashing with the police. Help us understand the ground situation.
Yes, Deepak. So the YSRCP Zilla Parishad elections, territorial by-elections, is happening in Kadapa district today in Pulivendula constituency. The ground situation is that the YSRCP people, party workers, are blaming that the TDP is resenting to very unfair practices to win this election, which is in this constituency, which is considered as the main constituency of YSRCP. So they are blaming that this particular constituency is one of the strong constituency of YSRCP, and they are resenting to unfair practices like changing the polling stations names at the last moment, leaving voters clueless about where to vote. They have also filed a petition in the High Court, which was later dismissed, but they are saying that this created confusion among voters, leading to them not able to vote properly in the right voting station. This YSRCP constituency is fielding the candidate Hemant Reddy, and TDP is fielding the candidate Lata Reddy. It is between them. The fight is between them.
Also, Aishwarya, tell us whether YSRCP is scared, because they lost the assembly elections. Now they're scared of losing their home bastion as well. So they're coming up with all these allegations that there is poll rigging happening in their own constituency.
Yes. They are saying that they have even filed a petition in the High Court, but the High Court dismissed the petition, stating that the voter slips provided to the voters will have the polling station name listed on them. So it is clear that YSRCP are blaming TDP because they fear that they might lose this elections as well, and it might lose their grip in Andhra Pradesh and in their own constituency, that is Kadapa.
Right, Aishwarya, thank you for joining me with those details. Let's shift our focus to another breaking news that we're tracking. Viewers, Air India has submitted its response to the Ministry of Civil Aviation on orders given to Boeing. Air India in its statement stated that from 2022 to 2025, after privatization of Air India, 170 aircrafts order was placed with Boeing, and this order was worth $25.8 billion. Now remember, just yesterday, India put Boeing on notice. Every single deal, every single aircraft, every engine and every spare part that was imported, that was supplied by Boeing has been mentioned. And what we understand is that the 220 flight order placed by Air India in the past, that is also under scrutiny. So the Ministry of Civil Aviation, they're seeking details on Air India's deal with Boeing, because of late there have been a lot of technical glitches on Air India flights, and amidst the trade and tariff war, India has put Boeing on notice. India has pulled up Boeing for its aircrafts, the technical snags and the deals it has signed with Air India. All of them are under deep scrutiny. Now Air India has submitted a response on the same as well, a day after the central government issued a notice. We have Harsha also joining us live. Harsha, help us understand the ongoing situation as far as India and Boeing is concerned, because yesterday India put Boeing on notice. The 220 flight order that was placed by Air India, that is also under deep scrutiny. Tell us more, Harsha.
Yes, Deepak, you rightly pointed out, and it has to do everything with right now the situation between India and US regarding the tariff. As we clearly asked, what we are witnessing is that every day there's some or the other statement from Trump on the tariff, and the tariff war is not stopping at all. And again, there's a statement from our country also that we are not going to succumb to any pressure mounting from the side of the US. And not to forget this Boeing company is the United States company, and the Air India AI 171 crash, the Boeing which was used, it was also given to Air India by the Boeing company. And also now we have gotten to know that yesterday Ministry of Civil Aviation sought from Air India the response regarding the procurement of the aircraft which they have done with the Boeing company, regarding the engine parts, regarding the spare parts, and each and every detailing of the parts which Boeing will be giving to Air India and what the order has been placed with the Boeing company. So now we have gotten to know that the Air India has submitted the response with the government, with the Ministry of Civil Aviation, until now from 2022 to 2025, after the privatization of Air India, as the privatization happened in the end of 2021. And from 2022 to 2025, almost 170 aircraft procurement order was given by Air India to the Boeing company, also including each and every part of the Boeing, which will be fixed by the Boeing company, and the aircraft will be delivered to the country after 3 years. And in the span of this 3 years, 2022 to 2025, 170 aircraft order has been placed, worth $25.8 billion. Let me tell our viewers, this includes 787 fleet, 737 Boeing and 777 Boeing. So these three fleets of Boeing orders have been placed by Air India, and all the details of the order and procurement has now been submitted with the Ministry of Civil Aviation, because it's very important to understand that right now what our government is planning, what our ministry is planning, where there is any planning of reverse tariff on US. If as far as Boeing is concerned and the purchasing of the aircraft from US, from Boeing company is concerned, this we yet not know. But yes, we know that for sure that it is amid the tariff war between India and US that Ministry of Civil Aviation now needs to know each and every order being placed with the US company by our country. Back to you.
That's right, Harsha. Thank you for joining me with those details. Now, all of this, viewers, like Harsha pointed out, it's all amid the ongoing trade war that was waged by Donald Trump himself. And India has pulled the American airline maker, Boeing, in light of the recent glitches. The MOC has found Boeing planes riddled with problems every single day. And that's why every plane, every deal is now under deep scrutiny. Here's the report. India has put Boeing on notice. The Ministry of Civil Aviation has slapped an urgent order on all Indian airlines to hand over every detail of every Boeing deal, every aircraft, all engines, the spare parts, nothing left off the list. This isn't routine paperwork. This is India fighting back in a brewing trade war with Washington a direct counter to Trump's tariff war against India. And Boeing's billion-dollar bonanza in India is right in the crosshairs. Air India alone had signed up for a jaw-dropping 220 aircraft in 2023, one of the biggest commercial orders in aviation history. Now, those mega deals are under severe scrutiny. Every dollar, every delivery, every detail. For Boeing, this is turbulence they didn't see coming. For the US, it's a loud message from New Delhi: we won't take Trump's tantrums lying down. Moving on to more breaking news coming in. Encounter between security forces and Maoist terrorists in Bijapur. Ongoing gunfight has been reported in the forests of Bodla Pusnar. Intermittent exchange of fire between both sides have been reported. And there are also reports of 2 Jawans sustaining injuries in the ongoing encounter. The incident falls under Gangalore police station limits. The forces are now combing through these dense forest regions, and an encounter is currently underway in Bijapur. And this is the crackdown on red terrorists that's currently underway. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that India will put an end to red terror very, very soon. And working in that direction, our forces are eliminating every Maoist terrorist face in Bijapur, and this is an ongoing operation. The encounter is currently underway. 2 Jawans have sustained injuries in the gunfight. We have Bharat joining us live. Bharat, we understand that the encounter is currently underway in Bijapur. 2 Jawans have also sustained injuries. Help us understand what's happening.
बिल्कुल, मैं आपको बता दूं कि बीजापुर जिले के अंतर्गत गंगालूर पड़ता है। गंगालूर थाना क्षेत्र के अंतर्गत बुडला और पुसनार, उन जंगलों में माओवादी जो हैं, नक्सली जो हैं, उस इलाके पे मौजूद थे। पुलिस के जो जवान है, डीआरजी की जो टुकड़ी है, जो नक्सलियों से लोहा लेने के लिए तैनात रहते हैं, वो एंटी नक्सल ऑपरेशन के लिए उस इलाके पे निकले थे। पुसनार के इलाके की अगर बात की जाए, उस पूरे इलाके पे एक समय नक्सलियों की हमेशा आमद हुआ करती थी। कई बार उस पूरे इलाके पे मुठभेड़ भी हुई है, तो जिसके तर्ज पे एक तरीके से पुलिस को भी सूचना मिलती है कि उस इलाके पे जो नक्सली है बड़ी संख्या में मौजूद है, जिसकी सूचना में पुलिस उस इलाके पे निकलती है और लगातार जो फायरिंग है पुलिस और माओवादियों के बीच में देखने को मिलती है। रुक रुक के फायरिंग चल रही थी। जिस तरीके से जो खबर है वो बाहर निकल के आ रही थी, पुलिस और नक्सलियों के बीच में लगातार जो फायरिंग है वो चल रही थी, लेकिन रुक रुक के फायरिंग चलना शुरू हो चुकी थी। इसी बीच में 2 जो हमारे जवान हैं वो जख्मी हो गए हैं, जिनको इवैक्यूएट करके जो बेहतर उपचार के लिए छत्तीसगढ़ की राजधानी रायपुर रिफर कर दिया गया है। हालांकि उनका उपचार उस पूरे इलाके पे चल रहा है, राजधानी में उपचार चल रहा है। वहीं उस पूरे इलाके से संभावित ये बताई जा रही है कि बड़ी कैजुअलिटी नक्सलियों को हो सकती है, क्योंकि बड़ी संख्या में नक्सलियों की मौजूदगी थी। जिस तरीके से पुलिस के अधिकारियों ने जानकारी दिया है, जिसके तर्ज पे अगर बात की जा रही है, तो बड़ी संख्या में जो माओवादी हैं उनकी कैजुअलिटी की भी बात की जा रही है। लेकिन अभी ये पुष्टि नहीं किया गया है कि कितने जो नक्सली है मारे गए हैं, कितने नक्सलियों की जो शिनाख्त है वो होनी बाकी है, कितने नक्सलियों को चोट आई है, क्योंकि अभी तक ऑपरेशन उस पूरे इलाके पे जारी है। तो ये कहना उचित नहीं होगा, क्योंकि नक्सली जो उस इलाके पे अगर तैनात है तो कहीं ना कहीं जो ऑपरेशन समाप्त होता है उसके बाद ये कहना स्पष्ट हो जाएगा कि कितने नक्सलियों को पुलिस के जवानों ने ढेर किया। लेकिन अभी जो वर्तमान में जो अपडेट है, ये अपडेट है कि 2 जो जवान हैं वो जख्मी हैं, जिनका बेहतर उपचार राजधानी के रायपुर में चल रहा है, और उस इलाके पे जहां ऑपरेशन चल रही थी उस इलाके अभी भी जो ऑपरेशन है वो जारी है। वहीं बात की जाए 31 मार्च 2026 का जो डेडलाइन अमित शाह ने जो तय किया है देश के गृह मंत्री ने, जिसके तर्ज पे ही लगातार जो ऑपरेशन है वो चल रहे हैं। बारिश का समय हो, बारिश में भी जो जवान है वो थमने का नाम नहीं ले रहे हैं। यहां भी एक वजह देखा जा रहा है, जिसकी वजह से लगातार जो मुठभेड़ है उन इलाकों पे चल रही है, जिन इलाकों पे बरसात के समय पहुंचना मुश्किल होता था, जद्दोजहद होती थी, उस इलाके पे भी जवान अब पहुंच रहे हैं। लगातार जो ऑपरेशन है वो चल रही है। इस पूरे विषयों पर बीजापुर एसपी जो डॉक्टर जितेंद्र यादव है, उनका जिस तरीके से मीडिया को के जो खबर बाहर निकल के आई थी कि जिस तरीके से ऑपरेशन चल रहा है, ऑपरेशन समाप्त होने के बाद विस्तृत जानकारी जो है आपको दी जाएगी। तो कहीं ना कहीं जो ऑपरेशन है एक बड़ा ऑपरेशन देखा जा रहा है। जी,
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भरत जी हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। विद दैट व्यूअर्स, लेट्स स्लिप इनटू अ क्विक लुक एट द टॉप स्टोरीज फ्रॉम अक्रॉस द नेशन इन भारत इन 2 minutes. As India will celebrate its 79th Independence Day this year, the spirit of every citizen remains high. Tiranga rallies and marches have been organized by states across India. The BSF in Srinagar is hosting a Tiranga cycle rally from Bandipora to Srinagar. Delhi's Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and Ashish Sood flag off Tiranga cyclothon for girls from Vidhan Sabha to Rajghat. As rainfall plagues multiple states in India, flood-like situation has arisen in lower Assam due to an increase in the water level of the Janali River, which flows south along the border between Assam and West Bengal. Residents around the area can be seen in knee-deep waters. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma attended the passing out parade of 700 recruits of Goa Police. The recruits will be passing out as the 1st, 2nd and 3rd India Reserve battalions at Lachit Barphukhan Police Academy at Dergaon in Assam. Flash floods hit a government school in Poonch. The sports room, a 200 meters long shed, school records and sports kits have been completely washed away in the flash floods. No casualties were reported. Operation Alert has been started in Rajasthan. During this operation, the border management will be at high alert and will try to rehearse and improve drills. These drills will be rehearsed to prepare for better border management of upcoming challenges. The Border Security Force will evaluate all inputs coming across the border to monitor all possible threats and neutralize them. It's time for a quick break. Viewers, on the other side, we'll tell you about the disruption that continues over SIR in the parliament. Opposition stages protest. Along with that, focus will also be on the Sarla Bhat case, which has been reopened. Incriminating evidence of Pak terror has been unearthed.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
One of the only questions people asked us here in the media, and you would go outside of office, and when you meet people in public, at functions, at events, even at home sometimes, they would ask you that question, did we really lose jets? Who lost jets? How many jets did Pakistani Air Force lose? Now, there is a number to it, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, it's official, and you can't contest these numbers. The Indian Air Force has gone on record saying 5 Pakistani fighter jets were shot down along with one plane which is meant for advanced warning and air surveillance. And AWACS system planes were shot down along with 5 jets. 5 jets were brought down by the S-400. That's a big statement. I have Major General Sudhakarji joining us on this edition of
Welcome back.